Chapter 836. Heavenly Profound Formula. This was the foundation of the Heavenly Palace and was one of the strongest profound formulas in the transcendent world. When the Heavenly Palace was destroyed, there were rumors that it was because the major powers wanted to seize the Heavenly Profound Formula. No one knew whether this was true or not, but it was enough to prove its importance. Yang Wu memorized the Heavenly Profound Formula. This profound formula was divided into 12 levels, and each level corresponded to a stage of cultivation. Cultivating the Heavenly Profound Formula to a perfect stage meant that one could step into the peak of strength. Yang Wu could feel that this profound formula was extraordinary, but it was useless to him. He had already cultivated the Regal 9 Profound Formula and could not cultivate any other profound formula. Little Hay had already warned him. He believed that Little Hay would not lie to him. From today onwards, you will abandon your original profound formula and cultivate the Heavenly Profound Formula instead. Start cultivating from the first stage and wait until you reach the 5th stage before your master will teach you other things. Haoren said in an unquestionable tone. Yang Wu hurriedly called out to Haoren, "Master, I may have failed to live up to your expectations." Haoren frowned. "What do you mean? Master did not say it clearly enough? Do you really think I want you to be my disciple?" Yang Wu hurriedly waved his hand. "That is not what I meant. I cannot cultivate any other profound formula. Please forgive me, Master." Haoren laughed heartily. "Do you know how many experts in the domain drool over the heavenly mystery technique? Even old monster Tontian of the Jade Moon realm is no exception. You brat, don't tell me you don't care about it. Could it be that you cultivate the lost 9 heavens and 10 earths technique, or the unique and righteous skill?" Yang Wu said seriously, "None of them. The profound arts I cultivate have a special characteristic, and that is after cultivating it, I can't cultivate any other profound arts." "Are you playing with me?" Haoren shouted angrily. "Master, I really do not dare to lie to you. Everything I said is true. What kind of profound formula are you cultivating? Could it be one of those ancient forbidden profound formulas? It's called the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. It's a profound art that requires the collection of 9 types of profound essence in the world. The name sounds scary, but to find 9 kinds of mysterious essence chi in this world is simply a fool's dream. There's nothing I could do about it. Who told me to not meet you earlier, Master? Where did you get this profound formula from? When I was sent to the mountain prison, I obtained it by chance. At that time, my Dantian was completely destroyed. It was with this that I was able to rebuild my Dantian." After Yang Wu confessed everything to Haoren, Haoren finally believed in Yang Wu's words. He revealed a pensive expression. Yang Wu obediently stood to the side, not daring to anger his master again for fear that he would be slapped to death. After a long time, Haoren said, "You were able to improve so quickly because of this profound art." Yang Wu nodded. "Yes. Circulate it with all your strength and let me see." Haoren said. Yang Wu didn't say anything else and circulated the Supreme 9 Profound Arts at full speed. The mysterious essence chi of heaven and earth from all directions quickly surged towards him. Haoren's strength was very strong. He immediately sensed that Yang Wu's speed of absorbing the mysterious essence chi of heaven and earth was much higher than ordinary profound arts. Even if he cultivated the heaven profound arts to the 5th level, it would still be inferior. "Something strange," Haoren muttered. He stretched out a hand and pressed it on Yang Wu's shoulder. This gave Yang Wu a big fright, thinking that his master was going to do something to him. "You continue," Haoren said. Yang Wu calmed his mind and continued to circulate the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. The Supreme 9 Profound Arts merged 3 types of mysterious essence chi. It could only allow him to cultivate to the heavenly fish realm. If he wanted to cross the dragon transformation realm, it would be very difficult. He had to find the next type of mysterious essence chi. Yang Wu didn't hesitate to expose the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. He hoped to borrow his master's hand to help him find the 4th type of mysterious essence chi. Hao-Run was one of the top people in the transcendent realm. His perception was very sharp. When he touched Yang Wu, he could clearly feel the circulation path of Yang Wu's profound arts. He was surprised to find that Yang Wu's martial body was so perfect. Moreover, the circulation path of the profound arts was different from the rest. He couldn't help but say, "What a mysterious profound art." "Master, I didn't lie to you, right?" Yang Wu said nervously. Hao-Run let go of Yang Wu and didn't pay attention to Yang Wu. His eyebrows wrinkled. Not long after, he relaxed and said, "This profound art of yours is very overbearing. However, if you want to gather all 9 types of mysterious essence qi, it's almost impossible." "It can't be. I've already obtained 3 types of mysterious essence qi. I only need to find 6 more. The world is so big. Is mysterious essence qi really that rare?" Yang Wu cried out in surprise. Hao-Run said, "Every type of mysterious essence qi has to be formed in an incomparably harsh environment. You being able to obtain 3 types is definitely a great fortune. As far as I know, in the past 100,000 years, the number of known mysterious essence qi can be counted on one hand. Moreover, those known mysterious essence qi have long been refined by others. You still want to find 6 types in order to perfect this profound art of yours. This is undoubtedly a fool's dream." Yang Wu's expression greatly changed. He said in grief, "Could it be that my life is destined to be like this? I'll give you 3 days to cultivate the heaven profound art and see if it has any effect." Hao-Run said after thinking for a while. Yang Wu shook his head and said, "It's no use. When I obtained the regal 9 profound arts, it was clearly recorded. Once I cultivate it, I can't change any other profound arts. If that's the case, then between you and me, there's only the name of master and disciple. There's no real relationship between master and disciple." Hao-Run said with a trace of depression. He had gone through untold hardships to find a good seedling to inherit the heavenly palace's inheritance, but he never thought that it would end up like this. He had observed Yang Wu's performance. Whether it was character or talent, they were both outstanding. As long as he carefully trained him, he would definitely become a great talent. Unfortunately, it was ruined by a profound art. Although Hao-Run was very strict with Yang Wu, in reality, he had high hopes for Yang Wu. Yang Wu seized the opportunity and said, "Master may not know, but the regal 9 profound arts is very mysterious. It can sense the existence of mysterious essence qi. The 3 types of mysterious essence qi that I found before were found by relying on this mysterious feeling." Hao-Run raised his old eyebrows and said, "Really?" His old eyes released a sharp light that looked extremely frightening. It was as if Yang Wu dared to lie to him, his eyes could kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu replied with absolute certainty, "I definitely wouldn't dare to lie to Master." "Good. If you can really sense the existence of mysterious essence qi, then this profound art of yours still has its merits. Even if it can't compare to the heavenly profound arts, it shouldn't be too far off." Hao-Ren's expression slightly relaxed as he said, "I already have an idea of the 4th type of mysterious essence qi. I hope Master can lend me a hand." Yang Wu slightly bowed and said, "You little brat, you really know how to play along." What kind of person was Hao-Run? He immediately saw through Yang Wu's thoughts, but he wasn't angry. He continued to say, "Let's not talk about the mysterious essence qi for now. You have already become my heavenly palace's disciple, so you should first understand what kind of power my heavenly palace is." Finished speaking, he pointed a finger at Yang Wu, and a majestic thought entered Yang Wu's mind. A magnificent scene immediately appeared in Yang Wu's mind. The heavenly palace was like a paradise in the heavens. It occupied the position of 9 palaces' gathering cauldron and was a top-notch paradise. Incomparably pure heaven-earth, profound qi gathered in the eye of 9 palaces. Every corner of the paradise was blessed. Those who cultivated here could achieve twice the results with half the effort and grow very quickly. Ancient celestial palaces towered here, and countless experts lived here. Countless spirit demons became their mounts. The men were handsome and tall, while the women were beautiful. Each one of them held their own and had the ability to dominate an area. Among them, there were a few almighty heavenly palace experts. Each one of them was a character whose name shook the world. There were a total of 99 of them, known as the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters. Each of the Palace Masters had their own duties and, together with the other 9 Palace Masters, formed the strongest Heavenly Palace. This kind of power received the worship of various forces in the transcendent world. Its status was incomparably high. Unfortunately, one day, the 9 great Palace Masters disappeared along with the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters. The Heavenly Palace's vitality was greatly damaged, and it became a fat piece of meat for the various great forces. The various great forces sent out their Heavenly Palace experts to destroy the Heavenly Palace and seize everything from it. The Heavenly Palace was destroyed because of this. Only a few people escaped from that disaster. It was almost impossible to restore the Heavenly Palace to its former glory. Run was the only remaining member of the Heavenly Palace. He inherited the Heavenly Palace's mission. On one hand, he was searching for the mystery of the 9 great Palace Masters and the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters' disappearance. On the other hand, he was looking for the various Heavenly Palace Masters who were sent flying. The Heavenly Palace had been destroyed, so finding a successor was not an easy task. To him, it was more about the word fate. He and Yang Wu were connected by fate, so he wanted to accept Yang Wu as his disciple. Jiangping was connected by fate with the 3 Pristine's palace, so he was also connected by fate with the Heavenly Palace. However, with Jiangping's personality, he was unable to take on the heavy responsibility of reviving the Heavenly Palace. At most, he could only become Yang Wu's right-hand man. Yang Wu spent half a day digesting the general situation of the Heavenly Palace. He was very puzzled that there was no scene of the Heavenly Palace being destroyed by the various great forces. He guessed that Ren was not in the Heavenly Palace at the time, so he missed the battle. Do you now know how glorious our Heavenly Palace was? Ren's words sounded in Yang Wu's ears. Yang Wu nodded lightly and said, I understand, Master. I don't have extravagant hopes that you can lead the Heavenly Palace back to its original size, but I hope that you can start by announcing the return of our Heavenly Palace. Those enemies who participated in the destruction of our Heavenly Palace should tremble in fear. Ren revealed a domineering expression. His disdainful gaze was filled with horror. Master, who are our enemies? Yang Wu asked. The entire world is our enemy. What do you mean? Please forgive this disciple's stupidity. It means that all the great forces in the world are our enemies. On the surface, only the Heavenly Bamboo Temple, Evil Buddha Temple, King of Hell's Hall, Long Life Temple. These great forces participated in the destruction of our Heavenly Palace's people. In fact, there were many old bastards from other great forces who also participated. They all deserve to die. Chapter 837. The Heavenly Palace had existed for who knows how many years, but it was destroyed in a single night. Now that the world had changed, wanting to revive the Heavenly Palace was easier said than done. Ren also didn't think that he could revive the Heavenly Palace in a single day. He only hoped to find a youth with the temperament of a leader and rebuild the foundation of the Heavenly Palace. This was the most crucial step and also the most difficult step. Everything was difficult at the beginning. After Yang Wu heard that the Heavenly Palace had so many terrifying enemies, he was speechless. He couldn't help but cry out, The Heavenly Palace is the enemy of the entire world. How can we take revenge? Yang Wu wasn't a fool. He was smarter than anyone else. If joining the Heavenly Palace was so troublesome, he definitely wouldn't want to join. Let's not talk about the past for now. But one day, when our Heavenly Palace reaches the peak, those culprits will naturally come and admit their guilt. Right now, you only need to show that you are stronger and more outstanding than the descendants of other powers. You don't need to do anything else. Ren coldly snorted. He then continued, Everyone in the Heavenly Palace has their own path to walk. Since you can't inherit the Heavenly Profound Arts, I'll pass on a few battle skills to you. Otherwise, you'll say that I didn't teach you anything." Without waiting for Yang Wu's response, another strand of inheritance power entered the space between Yang Wu's eyebrows. Soon, 3 battle skills appear in Yang Wu's mind. They were the stellar sword arts, the stick spear arts, and the 1,000 transformations fist. Sword, spear, and fist, these 3 battle skills were all sacred skills. Without stepping into the dragon transformation realm, they couldn't be cultivated. Yang Wu hadn't stepped into the dragon transformation realm, but he had battle strength comparable to a half-step sage. He could also cultivate them. These battle skills seemed to be tailor-made for Yang Wu. He was proficient in these 3 types of martial arts. Yang Wu was in a good mood. He bowed to Hao Run and said, "Many thanks for Master's teachings. Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. Next, use your most powerful attacks. Master will first see what kind of trump cards you have." Hao Run expressionlessly said, "Yes, Master." Yang Wu responded and began his solo performance. He displayed all his combat skills and talents without holding anything back. Barbarian God's Fist, Martial God's Fist, Dragon Reverse Spear Art, Meteor Sword Art. Yang Wu performed every battle skill perfectly, and he also helped the Jinwu Boxing and the Fist of Death. Hao Ren's old eyes flickered with excitement. He thought to himself, this boy's attacks are relatively simple, but he has comprehended 2 different kinds of martial arts. His perception is truly excellent. It's a pity that he has only comprehended a little bit. If he could upgrade his martial arts' true meanings, his potential would be even more extraordinary. What a pity, what a pity. Master, your disciple has finished practicing. After Yang Wu finished demonstrating his cultivation, he felt very satisfied. 10 more years of cultivation time in the God of War Pagoda was extremely precious. It allowed him to perfect his foundation even more. So. Hao Run gave his evaluation. Yang Wu was depressed. Could it be that his master's standards were really that high? Next, Master will teach you combat skills and help you reach a higher level. Hao Run said, "Master, isn't this too rushed? My wife is still waiting for me." Yang Wu hurriedly said, "You don't have to worry about her. Master has given her a great opportunity. Her talent is not inferior to yours. If she is properly trained, she will be a great help to you in the future." Hao Ren replied. He didn't care whether Yang Wu agreed or not. He began to talk about some of his cultivation experiences. When a saint preached, all things were silent. When a heavenly deity preached, a vision appeared. When Hao Ren preached, the stars moved. Every word of his was like the evening drum and the morning bell. Yang Wu quietly entered the world of listening. Every word gave him great inspiration. Every sentence was like the vast expanse of stars, full of mysterious truths. This kind of profound feeling was impossible to capture. Yang Wu entered a meditative state. From the martial soldier realm to the celestial fish realm, there were cultivation experiences at every stage. They verified his right and wrong, giving him a sense of enlightenment. He discovered his own strengths and weaknesses. From the small saint realm to the saint realm, it was a whole new world. The celestial fish transformed into a dragon. The stars flickered. The jade moon was like a flower. In addition to the enlightenment and comprehension of the realm, there were also unique insights on combat skills. Martial cultivation focused on the cultivation of the heart. With a righteous heart and a calm mind, one could fight with righteousness. If one's heart was in a mess, one's moves would be chaotic. Only when one could control one's moves freely, and the great Tao was simple, that was the highest definition of martial arts. These principles that started from the shallow to the deep were like rivers flowing into the sea, gradually becoming vast and boundless. The stars moved, and the sun and moon rotated. The surrounding grass turned into spirits, and the spirit grass became kings. All living things became full of vitality. The great Tao was different, but they all led to the same destination. The martial Tao, the Tao of life, they were all the same Tao. There were thousands of Taos, but Taos were all one, difficult to distinguish. Hao Run was an old monster who had lived for countless years. It had been many years since he spoke of the Tao. 10,000 years of Tao accumulated in his heart, creating a shocking phenomenon. In Yang Wu's universe space, there was an innate ice gourd. Inside the ice gourd was a little girl. She was lucky enough to hear Hao Ren's Tao. She fell into a state of enlightenment, as if she had returned to her mother's womb. She grew up in ignorance, watching her parents suffer, watching the changes of life, the changes of the stars. Suddenly, the innate ice gourd flew out from Yang Wu's universe space. It released waves of innate power, absorbing the Tao from all around and pouring it into the little girl's divine court. In an instant, the divine court's Tao flower bloomed. Ice lotuses grew in all directions. There was also a small ice gourd tree that broke through the ground, forming a small ice lotus world. Hao Ren had long finished his Tao lecture. His mind was wandering, accumulating many years of insights into a river. It allowed him to see millions of stars, the brilliance of the sun and moon. His harvest was great. When he came back to his senses, he looked at the small world that formed nearby. His old eyes revealed a happy expression. The Tao has formed a world. Could it be that this old man has really taken that step? However, when he looked carefully, he saw that the ice gourd beside Yang Wu was transmitting an indescribable power. His expression fell. I was happy for nothing. In the next moment, Hao Ren's eyes jumped. Two strands of divine power shot towards the ice gourd. The ice gourd released waves of icy mist, blocking his vision. Strange, strange, Hao Ren murmured. Hao Ren looked at Yang Wu again and saw that his eyes were still closed, in a state of enlightenment. He didn't say anything and looked towards a certain direction. A doppelganger's divine sense landed in front of the sword steel, and a sorry figure appeared. Aha, I, Jiang Ping, am the most outstanding heaven's pride since ancient times. I passed through many trials and became a disciple of the heavenly palace. Jiang Ping laughed with incomparable excitement. If you didn't have that saint garment, you being able to come here alive is your skill. Hao Ren calmly looked at Jiang Ping and said. When Jiang Ping saw Hao Ren, he quickly knelt down and saluted. Disciple Jiang Ping greets master. Hao Ren looked at Jiang Ping and said, This old man has already emphasized that you are a disciple of the three pristines and cannot become my disciple. From now on, you can call me Martial Uncle. Being able to pass the trials is your fortune. Drip your blood on the sword steel, and you will be my heavenly palace's second disciple of the 999th generation. Martial Uncle, which senior brother was the first? Jiang Ping asked. Yang Wu. No way. How could that brat pass the trials before me? This is really infuriating. From now on, you can peacefully assist him in restoring our heavenly palace's glory. Wait until he has the qualifications. The three pristines inheritance is on you. You can transform into the three pristines and cultivate all three at the same time. However, if you cultivate too quickly, it won't be good for a solid foundation. Continue tempering yourself in the battle mount. Hey, Martial Uncle, you can't do this. I just passed the trials. In another direction of the heavenly palace, there were purple clouds shrouding the area. Streaks of lightning constantly fell like dragons and snakes. This strange scene was clearly different from the rest. The purple cloud hall's Tao field was left behind by the 99 heavenly palace masters. Although this place had long been destroyed, there were still remnants of what left behind. With the support of a brilliant array, it still formed a strange scene for those who cultivated lightning profound energy to cultivate. The 9 palaces gathering cauldron was a natural phenomenon. Although it had been destroyed by the supreme power of the Almighty, after tens of thousands of years of changes, it slowly gathered together again. It was not inferior to the blessed enclave of any major force. A purple figure flashed through the lightning. She was not afraid of the power of the lightning. Purple Yu had the heavenly thunder jade skin body, which was 1 in a million. She had a close relationship with the power of lightning. Not only could she absorb the power of lightning, but every part of her body could also absorb the power of lightning. It was as if she was born with a body of lightning and could control lightning. The purple clouds and lightning here were an extremely rare variant of lightning. They had a terrifying destructive power. Anyone who was touched by this lightning would die without a doubt. It was amazing that Purple you could move freely in this environment. At this moment, she was fighting fiercely with a creature in the purple clouds and lightning. This creature was covered in purple clouds and lightning. Its eyes were emitting a strong, evil aura. It had dragon horns on its head and a body like a lion or tiger. It had a ponytail and lightning under its feet. Purple smoke rose. Roar, roar. The creature kept roaring, and the power of lightning around it became more and more violent. Purple Yu was forced to retreat by the creature's power. She was not discouraged. She formed a hand seal, and a battle pattern floated between her eyebrows. An electromagnetic field formed in all directions. The surrounding purple clouds and lightning fell into it, and quickly became her magnetic field. In the next moment, the electromagnetic field enveloped the creature. The electromagnetic field could not hurt the creature. Instead, it made the creature confused. It had been with lightning since it was young. Why did the power of lightning no longer listen to its orders? A voice rang out. "Chillin', baby. Are you willing to be friends with me?" Chapter 838. Yang Wu entered a state of enlightenment for a full 7 days before he slowly woke up. In these 3 days, he digested every word that Haoren passed down to him. There weren't many words, but each one was like a pearl, filled with profound truths. It was all-encompassing, and the Tao could transform into a myriad of things. For a time, he only understood half of it. Perhaps as he grew, he would be able to comprehend these great Taos. Just like when he obtained the will of his ancestor on the 12th floor of the God of War Pagoda, he needed time to comprehend it. Yang Wu looked at the meditating old man not far away. He bowed 90 degrees and said, "Many thanks, Master. This is our master and disciple relationship. I can only pass down this much. How far you can grow in the future will depend on your luck." Haoren opened his eyes and looked at Yang Wu. Yang Wu firmly said, "I won't disgrace the sect." At this moment, he finally regarded himself as a disciple of the Heavenly Palace, as Haoren's disciple. This master of his had great fortune. Although he was strict with him, he wasn't stingy. He passed down the essence of his life's cultivation to him in one go. This was something that no one could easily do. Haoren looked at Yang Wu with satisfaction and said, "You still know how to be grateful. Not bad." After a pause, he said, "What's inside the ice gourd?" Yang Wu discovered that the ice gourd had unknowingly appeared outside his body. He heavily slapped his forehead and said, "My little sister is inside." The next moment, he said to the ice gourd, "Little Nan Nan, come out." At the same time, he discovered that the ice gourd was surrounded by many ice lotuses and a gore vine tree. He didn't understand what was going on. The ice gourd swayed and flashed with multicolored light. Little Nan Nan appeared outside the ice gourd. She had a confused expression as she said, "Big brother, you called for me?" Without waiting for Yang Wu to respond, a force bound Nan Nan and swept her in Haoren's direction. Yang Wu shouted in alarm, "Master, please be merciful." Haoren's eyes glowed as he looked at the little Nan Nan. The little Nan Nan looked back at him with a timid face. The big eyes stared at the little eyes, which was particularly interesting. "Grandpa, are you a bad person?" Little Nan Nan asked in a mosquito-like voice. "Huh? How could Grandpa be a bad person? Look at Grandpa's righteous face, upright and chivalrous. He doesn't even want to trample an ant to death. He's a good person who can't be any better." Haoren revealed a rare smile. Yang Wu's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He exclaimed in his heart, "Is this old man really my master?" The impression that Haoren gave him was that he was incomparably harsh, strict, and old-fashioned. He wasn't too friendly to him, but he suddenly spoke so amiably to little Nan Nan, which really made him scratch his head. Little Nan Nan tugged at Haoren's beard, blinking his innocent eyes as he said, "Grandpa is so kind." After a pause, she retracted her hand and lowered her head. "I'm sorry, Grandpa. I broke your beard." She accidentally broke 3 strands of Haoren's beard. Yang Wu's heart was incomparably nervous. Would that guy flip out? Howren stared blankly for a moment before saying without a care, "It's fine, it's fine. Isn't it just a few strands of beard? They'll grow back." "Really? Then can I tug at Nan Nan again?" As long as you like it, I'll let you tug at it every day." Could it be that this old man is a pedophile? Yang Wu's eyes widened as he thought to himself. Other than this conclusion, he couldn't explain why Hao Run was so good to little Nan Nan. Hao Run and little Nan Nan teased each other for a while. Yang Wu discovered that Hao Run didn't have any ill intentions towards little Nan Nan, so he relaxed. Yang Wu walked over and said, "Master, she's my little sister. Can you let her go first?" He was still very afraid that his master was a pedophile. Hao Run hugged little Nan Nan and smiled. "Very good. She's your little sister, so she's this master's disciple." Then he asked little Nan Nan, "Are you willing to take Grandpa as your master?" Little Nan Nan looked at Yang Wu and asked, "Big brother, what is taking a master?" Yang Wu was stunned for a moment before saying, "It's to follow him in cultivating martial arts. You'll become his disciple, and he'll be your master." "Then I don't want it. I just want to follow Big Brother in cultivating." Little Nan Nan replied without hesitation. Hao Run anxiously said, "I'm his master. I'm much stronger than him. He still doesn't have the qualifications to leave my tutelage. But I still want to follow Big Brother. If you follow your master, it won't hinder the feelings between you two. If you both take me as your master, you can often cultivate together. Isn't that good? Big Brother, will you really always follow Grandpa in cultivating?" I don't think so. Then I'll always be by Big Brother's side." "Yang Wu, from today onwards, you'll cultivate by my side every day." Yang Wu was confused. Just a moment ago, his master had said that he had taught him everything that needed to be taught. The rest would depend on his own luck. Why did he suddenly change his mind? "Master, this isn't too good. Just now," Yang Wu said gloomily. In fact, he quite liked the days of free cultivation. He didn't want to be watched every day. That way, he wouldn't even have his freedom. "Are you the master, or am I the master?" Hao Run said with a serious face. "You're a bad person. Don't yell at my big brother." Little Nan Nan unhappily said. Hao Run hurriedly whispered, "How is Grandpa a bad person? Grandpa is teaching your big brother to respect his master. You're yelling at Big Brother. You're a bad person. Let go of me." Little Nan Nan said with a sobbing tone. Hao Run was so scared that he panicked. He hurriedly let little Nan Nan go and then continued to lower his attitude and said, Okay. Grandpa will listen to you. I won't yell at your big brother anymore. Is that okay? You can never yell at my big brother. Otherwise I'll cry in front of you." Little Nan Nan pouted her little jade lips and said seriously, Okay. I'll never yell at you. You have to believe that Grandpa is a good person. Do you want to eat the candy Grandpa gave you?" "No, I want Big Brother." Yang Wu looked at the little Nan Nan who was running back and then looked at his master who had a deflated face. He almost laughed out loud. He laughed in his heart and said, "This old fellow also has a day like this. Truly, there is always one thing to conquer another." Yang Wu picked up little Nan Nan and said, "Little Nan Nan, are you hungry?" "I'm not hungry. I still haven't finished eating the candy that Big Brother gave me." Little Nan Nan replied. When she entered the ice gourd, Yang Wu gave her some candy to quench her hunger. One candy could keep her from being hungry for 3 days. "Little brat, what kind of candy did you give her?" Hao Run couldn't help but shout after hearing this. Little Nan Nan stared at Hao Run and said, "You're yelling at Big Brother again. You're a bad person. You're a bad person." Hao Run was defeated again. His begging was unable to obtain little Nan Nan's forgiveness. He could only ask Yang Wu for help. Yang Wu turned a blind eye to it. He wanted to test little Nan Nan's position in his master's heart. Hao Run said to Yang Wu in a low voice, "My good disciple, you have to prove it for your master. Master has been so good to you. I've just passed on my life's knowledge to you. Who else has been as good to you as your master? This shameless old man. He really has ideas about little Nan Nan. He's too perverted." Yang Wu was even more certain that Hao Run had ulterior motives towards little Nan Nan. He said to Hao Run, "Master is not bad, but sometimes he's still very fierce to me." "Bad person." Little Nan Nan immediately echoed from the side. She then said, Big brother, let's quickly get away from this bad person. Haoren looked at Yang Wu and said, a strict master produces a fine disciple. If I'm not strict with you, how will you become a capable person in the future? He then smiled at little Nan Nan and said, don't worry, Master will treat you and your sister well in the future. I won't be fierce anymore. If Grandpa is fierce again, how about you pull Grandpa's beard? Really? Little Nan Nan asked. Really? Haoren patted his chest. Little Nan Nan wasn't stupid. She asked Yang Wu, big brother, what do you think? Yang Wu also didn't dare to take a foot and an inch. He nodded and said, we'll trust him this time. Haoren gave Yang Wu a look as if to say, brat, at least you're tactful. The next moment, Yang Wu added, if he's fierce to big brother again, you'll pull out all of his beard. Little Nan Nan clenched her fists and said, listen to big brother, pull out all of his beard. Haoren couldn't help but stroke his beard. He complained in his heart, this time I've met the little ancestor. Haoren naturally wasn't a pedophile. He had taken a fancy to little Nanan's physique. She might be the best successor to the heavenly temple. Little Nan Nan had been bored for many days. Yang Wu let her play nearby. Following this, Haoren really did reveal to Yang Wu that little Nan Nan wanted to take him as her master. He wanted Yang Wu to think about her, so as to not ruin little Nanan's life. Sherzuin, you can't always force people to take you as a disciple. Yang Wu said, Humph, what do you know? The only people who can enter this master's eyes are you and your sister. Haoren said coldly. Yang Wu rubbed his hands and asked, Sherzuin, you really didn't take little Nan Nan as your disciple because you like her? Of course I like this little girl. Otherwise, why would I take her as my disciple? Fuck, you old pervert. You won't even let off a child. Impudent. Bang. Yang Wu was in for a tragedy. He even dared to curse his master. He was sent flying by his master's palm, and his bones were almost broken. Little Nan Nan began to cry loudly. Haoren cursed inwardly. This is bad. He had just promised that he wouldn't be fierce to Yang Wu. Just as he finished speaking, he injured Yang Wu. He couldn't keep his beard. Over the next 2 days, Haoren used all kinds of methods to curry favor. He took out candies, spirit flowers, and even found a young spirit monster. However, he couldn't coax little Nan Nan to forgive him. His beard was completely pulled out. Yang Wu finally understood that his master wasn't a pedophile. Rather, he thought highly of little Nanan's talent and wanted to take her as his disciple to inherit the will of the heavenly temple. Yang Wu considered it over and over again before reluctantly agreeing to his master's request to call little Nan Nan to take him as her master. During this time, he ruthlessly extorted a large sum of money from his master. Imperial edicts, holy objects, spirit pills, and so on. He plundered a pile. That old man didn't seem to care too much. For little Nan Nan, he was even willing to take out all his savings. In the end, little Nan Nan reluctantly took Haoren as her master. When she took him as her master, little Nan Nan made him set 3 rules. First, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Second, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Third, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Only after he agreed did she perform the ceremony of taking him as her master. In the end, who was the master here? Chapter 839. Everything in the world had its own counter. Haoren, this kind of heaven-reaching, almighty being, was actually restrained by a little girl. It was really hard to imagine. Yang Wu also felt that it was too unreal. When he saw little Nan Nan riding on Haoren's neck, he was sure that it was not an illusion. With little Nan Nan restraining Haoren, Yang Wu felt that this evil master had restrained himself in front of him. He could not help but feel a lot more comfortable. At this time, Yang Wu asked his master, Master, can I go see my wife now? Go, she's at the Purple Cloud Hall. Haoren was too lazy to pay attention to Yang Wu and wave his hand at him. Yang Wu still wanted to ask for more details, but he had already disappeared without a trace with little Nan Nan. Yang Wu sighed. We're both disciples. Why is the difference so big? Yang Wu began to seriously look around the heavenly palace, looking for the location of the Purple Cloud Hall. However, he only found a destroyed palace behind the sword steel. There was not a single person there, so it was definitely not the Purple Cloud Hall. There were no complete buildings in the other directions. They were all in a mess. Very quickly, he noticed a purple cloud surging in the distance. It seemed to be flickering with the power of thunder and lightning. He thought, could it be over there? Thus, he flew towards the direction of the purple cloud. He did not dare to barge in recklessly. Instead, he opened his soul eye and looked at the path under his feet before continuing forward. In this place, there were arrays everywhere. If he was not careful, he could trigger the power of the arrays and be killed. He had no choice but to be careful. Sure enough, along the way, he saw many broken arrays. It seemed that they still contained a lot of power. He thought, when the Heavenly Palace was at its peak, this place was definitely a dragon's pool and tiger's den. Not long after, Yang Wu came to the front of the Purple Cloud Taoist rite. Seeing the purple cloud thunder continuously falling in front of him, and the lightning Xin Shi was extremely dense, he could not help but praise. What a good place to cultivate lightning energy. The heavenly thunder bone in his body released traces of desire. He felt that this should be the location of the Purple Cloud Hall. Suddenly, a bestial roar came from the purple cloud thunder. Roar! The roar was astonishing, as if the Emperor of Beasts had descended, full of might. Yang Wu's expression turned grave. He was worried that something might have happened to Ziyu. Just as he was about to rush into the purple thundercloud, a purple-clothed girl riding a purple qilin slowly walked out of the purple thundercloud. Yang Wu said in surprise, Yu, husband, you're here. After Ziyu saw Yang Wu, her face was also filled with joy. She urged her mount to move forward, but it did not listen obediently. Its purple eyes were filled with traces of lightning, and it was overflowing with a vicious aura. Yu, is this the legendary sacred beast qilin? Yang Wu looked at the mighty mount under Yu and asked. Without waiting for Ziyu to reply, an angry roar sounded out again. A bolt of purple lightning shot out from the qilin's mouth, directly bombarding Yang Wu. Fortunately, Yang Wu had his soul eye open, so he was able to see the qilin's attack. He quickly dodged to the side, and the lightning power brushed past him. The ground behind Yang Wu was blown up into a cloud of dust. Baby qilin, don't be angry. He's my husband. He won't hurt you. Ziyu quickly stroked the qilin's fur as she comforted it. Yang Wu was shocked into a cold sweat. He said, this qilin is too fierce. How did you make it yield? He didn't know what level this qilin was, but its attack was no weaker than the battle spirit from before. It was even stronger. It was infinitely close to the Saint Realm. It's a baby qilin that grew up in a purple cloud of lightning. It hasn't come into contact with other creatures. Don't anger it. It's very powerful. Ziyu replied. Yang Wu nodded and said, yes, I know. It's your partner, and it's also my partner. I'm sure it'll slowly accept me. Ziyu dismounted from the qilin and rushed to Yang Wu's side. She asked, husband, did you pass the teacher's test? Yang Wu patted his chest and said, of course. Don't you know who your husband is? The test was a piece of cake. I think so too. So, are you going to cultivate here for the rest of the time? Or do you have other plans? I was going to look for another type of mysterious essence qi, but now I want to stay here and cultivate for a while. Are you in a hurry to return to Purple Cloud Hall? No rush. If that's the case, then let's cultivate here together. That's good. As Yang Wu cultivated the 9 lightning body tempering technique, he had tempered his bones into the heavenly thunderbone. He had also comprehended an electric fork talent from the heavenly thunderbone. During the 10 years in the God of War Pagoda, Yang Wu hadn't tempered himself with the power of lightning, so he had put this talent aside. Now that he had found such a good place to cultivate, he definitely didn't want to let it go. He and Ziyu walked toward the purple cloud of lightning. Before he even entered, he could already feel the huge threat that the purple cloud of lightning brought to him. The purple cloud of lightning here could probably kill a sage. Yang Wu was only a half-saint. If he barged in recklessly, he would definitely die. Therefore, he decided to stay outside the lightning and absorb some purple cloud of lightning before slowly entering. Ziyu accompanied Yang Wu and cultivated quietly. She was prepared to hone her heavenly fish realm to perfection. If everything went smoothly, she wanted to take that step and become a dragon transformation realm small saint. The purple cloud of lightning was a high-level lightning. When Yang Wu absorbed its power, his body convulsed uncomfortably. That terrifying power almost charred his body. The 9 lightning body tempering technique worked wonders. It channeled the power of lightning into his bones and tempered them. Yang Wu already had more than 10 heavenly thunder bones, but these heavenly thunder bones still had room for improvement. The purple cloud of lightning could help them reach a higher level. Yang Wu silently endured the pain of the purple cloud of lightning and slowly entered a state of cultivation where he forgot about everything around him. When he gradually adapted to the power of the purple cloud of lightning outside, he walked into the lightning. Bang! Yang Wu was struck by the purple cloud, thunder, and lightning, and his body almost fell to the ground. That even more terrifying power of thunder and lightning covered his entire body, and all of his hair turned incomparably black. Even his skin and flesh felt like it was being cooked by the electricity. Ziyu watched from a distance and felt sorry for him. She wanted to rush over and block the pain for him. Yang Wu was also extraordinary. He had suffered a lot in these years, so he didn't care about this little bit more. He sat down cross-legged and crazily absorbed the power of the purple cloud, thunder, and lightning. He began to temper his bones in all aspects. He planned to temper all his bones into heavenly thunder bones before coming out. Not far away, Hao Run, who was playing with little Nan Nan, looked over from time to time. His old eyes were filled with admiration. He thought to himself, only by enduring the most bitter of hardships can one rise above others. Tempering one's bones was a very painful thing. The purple cloud of lightning first passed through the skin and flesh before entering the body. Finally, it reached the bones. Before tempering the bones, it had to temper the skin and flesh. Yang Wu's skin and flesh peeled off layer by layer. His bloody appearance was extremely frightening. However, he gritted his teeth and persevered. After the old skin peeled off, new skin grew again. This cycle repeated over and over again. The bones in his body absorbed a lot of purple cloud of lightning and began to change color. From white to light purple, then to deep purple. The 9 thunder reshaping body technique had its own uniqueness. Otherwise, it would not have been able to help Yang Wu refine the heavenly thunder bone. After it gathered the purple cloud thunder into the bone again and again, the heavenly thunder bone was initially formed. Yang Wu gradually developed a resistance to the power of the purple cloud, thunder, and lightning, and felt less pain. His body became tougher and was comparable to a peak half-saint. He was only one step away from sanctifying his body. It wasn't easy to take this step because with his current realm, he had reached his limit. He had to increase his realm to increase his potential and take that step. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Every bone in Yang Wu's body was tempered, and the heavenly thunder skeleton was completely formed. He had a kind of immunity to lightning. Yang Wu stood up and let the lightning strike him. He didn't show the slightest panic. He grabbed a purple cloud of lightning with his bare hands. The power of lightning was in his palm. He smiled faintly and said, "Now I'm not afraid of the power of lightning." In the past 3 months, in addition to completing the tempering of the heavenly thunderbone, the power of his dantian had been greatly improved. His strength had quietly risen to the late stage of the heavenly fish realm, only 1 step away from the completion. Yang Wu's foundation was too deep and needed too much heaven and earth chi. It was extremely difficult for him to make a small progress in 3 months. Suddenly, a huge amount of lightning power was absorbed in the depths. Even the lightning power here was absorbed by an inexplicable suction. Many purple cloud of lightning gathered in one place and fell crazily. Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and looked at the restlessness. He felt that it might be caused by the purple yu. Rumble, rumble. The purple cloud of lightning struck faster and faster. The lightning chi became denser and denser, forming a lightning electromagnetic field. There seemed to be a lightning dragon born in it. Waves of roaring sounds could be heard. Not long after, a purple dragon soared into the sky and collided with the lightning. The lightning was stopped by the purple dragon's power. Yu broke through to the dragon transformation realm. Yangwu couldn't help but be ecstatic. The transformation of a heavenly fish into a dragon was a qualitative leap. Only by taking this step could one have a chance to attack a higher level. And the sooner one took this step, the more obvious the improvement and enhancement of one's body would be. Qilin rushed out from the depths. It glanced at Yangwu and ignored him. Its arrogant eyes were full of disdain. Yangwu couldn't be bothered to care about his face. He only cared about whether the purple Yu could successfully break through. This intense lightning feast lasted for a full 3 days before it finally slowed down. The purple dragon had finally taken form, and it was roaming freely in the lightning domain. A beautiful figure came over on the back of a dragon. Everything in the world paled in comparison to her. Yangwu looked at the figure that slowly appeared and felt very absent-minded. He sighed softly. With a wife like this, what more can a husband ask for? Chapter 840. Ziyu had the heavenly thunder jade skin body, which was an innate battle constitution. She was like a fish in water amidst the heavenly thunder. After 3 months of cultivation, she had directly broken through to the dragon transformation realm. It was not an easy process for a heavenly fish to transform into a dragon. Many people could not break through this small barrier. The stronger the foundation of a heavenly fish, the higher the chance of transforming into a dragon. Ziyu's cultivation talent was indisputable. She also cultivated the Purple Firmament Palace's highest Xian mantra. Her foundation was stronger than the average prodigy. With the help of the purple cloud lightning, not only did her physical body improve, but she also accumulated enough energy to successfully break through in one go. This speed of improvement was simply too shocking. Ziyu, who had broken through, appeared even more otherworldly. Her graceful body became even more flexible and tenacious. Her body had the golden ratio, and her beautiful face was sparkling and translucent like jade, as if it could be broken with a flick of a finger. Her purple hair fluttered in the wind, causing her to appear even more beautiful. Yangwu looked at Ziyu. It was hard to imagine her as the slug from when he was young. "Husband, take this." After Ziyu rushed out, she raised her delicate palm and slapped it towards Yangwu. Rushing thunder palm. The power of the palm was like thunder, shocking the heavens. By the time Yangwu reacted, the palm was already in front of his chest. If he did not dodge, this palm would definitely hit him mercilessly. It was not that Ziyu wanted to hurt him. Ziyu knew how strong Yangwu was. Before she broke through, she was not a match for Yangwu. Yangwu did not dodge, but he was not hurt by Ziyu either. The black tortoise armor appeared on his body, and the powerful force dissipated all the power from Ziyu's palm. Ziyu attacked again, and the power of her palm was more than twice as strong as before. The surrounding purple cloud lightning was attracted by her, and the terrifying lightning shot towards Yangwu like a dragon. This was the true power of the dragon transformation realm. The ability to control the power of the heavens and the earth had become even more natural. Within this purple lightning cloud, Yu was like the mother of lightning, able to control the myriad of lightning here. Yangwu did not retaliate. Instead, he continued to use his black tortoise battle armor to deflect all of purple Yu's attacks. He smiled and said, "Wife, do you really think that you can challenge your husband's authority just because you've broken through to the dragon transformation realm? You'll be punished according to the family rules." In the next moment, Yangwu launched a counterattack. He had already cultivated the heavenly thunderbone body, so the purple cloud thunder here would no longer be able to harm him. On the contrary, he could also control the lightning power here, and he was not inferior to Ziyu. Yangwu stretched out his palm and slapped towards purple Yu's perky butt. Ziyu reacted quickly and kicked away Yangwu's palm. Following that, a series of powerful attacks were launched at Yangwu. Regardless of whether it was the palm or the foot, Ziyu executed them exquisitely. Every move and style had a large amount of lightning power enveloping Yangwu. The destructive power was comparable to a peak minor saint. Yang Wu also went all out to spar with Ziyu. Fist against palm, leg against leg. Both of them were having fun. Ziyu realized that ordinary attacks were unable to do anything to Yang Wu. She shouted, "Husband, pay attention. I'm going to use my ultimate move. Lightning magnetic field." Ziz. Countless purple cloud lightning gathered, forming a sea of lightning. The terrifying explosive power was enough to make even a peak minor saint retreat. Haha, today I must show my authority as a husband. Yang Wu let out a long laugh and also released his thunder electromagnetic field. The majestic power of thunder and lightning gathered and began to collide with Ziyu's thunder electromagnetic field. Asterisk Hong Long Hong Long. Asterisk both of them were using the lightning magnetic field of the purple cloud lightning. It was a competition of whose Xianqi was more abundant and who could control the purple cloud lightning more easily. Yang Wu's Xianqi was stronger than Yu Yu's, but the lightning power that Ziyu could control was stronger than Yang Wu's. Both of them could not do anything to each other. Yang Wu smiled and said, "Let me let you have a taste of your husband's power." Suddenly, the lightning energy condensed into electric forks. The electric forks were like peerless weapons, thrusting towards Ziyu. Ziyu's eyes widened as she looked at Yang Wu's innate attack, and she was given a big fright. She condensed lightning to defend herself, but she was still pierced by the electric fork's power. Just as the electric fork's power was about to injure her, it stopped. Yang Wu looked at Ziyu complacently and said, "Wife, are you convinced?" Ziyu flicked her purple hair and said with a sweet smile, "Husband, you're so powerful. You don't cultivate lightning energy, but you can unleash such powerful lightning energy. No wonder you can defeat people of the same generation." She paused for a moment and blinked her cunning eyes, but it's not that easy to teach your wife a lesson. In that instant, strange runes flowed around Ziyu's body. These runes seemed to be innate. Each rune was like a lightning hammer. Tens of thousands of lightning hammers formed and smashed towards the electric forks. Another series of explosions rang out. Yang Wu's electric forks seemed to have met their nemesis, as they were all broken by the lightning hammers. They were no longer a threat to Ziyu. Not only that, but the lightning hammer runes also smashed towards Yang Wu. The lightning amplification was incomparably terrifying. It was more than 10 times stronger than before. This was the terrifying aspect of innate talent. My wife has the lightning hammer of a lightning god, and I have the lightning fork of a lightning god. Isn't this reversed? Yang Wu cried out in alarm. All of the heavenly lightning bones emitted a dazzling light as countless electric forks gathered to meet the lightning hammers. Neither side could do anything to the other. Yang Wu and Ziyu stopped before going too far. There was no need for a victor to be decided. In the heavenly lightning domain, Ziyu's combat strength was definitely not inferior to a half-step saint. If it was outside, with the help of her innate talent and her trump card, she could kill a peak minor saint. She could even protect herself in front of a half-step saint. Compared to 3 months ago, she was much stronger. Yu, your improvement is too fast. Your innate battle physique is indeed different from others. Yang Wu said as he gently hugged Ziyu's shoulder. Ziyu leaned on Yang Wu's chest and said, "No matter how fast my improvement is, it can't be compared to my husband. My husband is the one who is different from the rest." She then added, "My eyesight is not bad." Yang Wu smiled. "After you arrived at the Purple Firmament Palace, have you ever thought of giving up your husband?" At that time, she was cultivating in a major force in the transcendent world, while he was imprisoned in the mortal world. It could be said that one was in the sky, while the other was on the ground. Ziyu's charming eyes flickered as she said, "No matter where I am, my heart is filled with your shadow. I miss the days when I was with you. At that time, I always felt so happy. After arriving at the Purple Firmament Palace, I was bitterly cultivating every day. I was not happy at all. Moreover, you saw my body long ago. I am already yours." After saying that, her face was like a ripe tomato. It was irresistible to take a bite. Yang Wu kissed her on the cheek and said, "At that time, we were still little brats. I don't care. I'm not a casual woman. Hee hee, I was really wise at that time. I took you long ago. It's just that you often had a runny nose. You were really cute. Don't mention it again. I don't have a runny nose anymore. Yang Wu and Ziyu Yu were intimate for a while before discussing whether or not they should leave. Ziyu Yu shook her head and pointed to the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. She wanted to go in with him. Yang Wu nodded without hesitation and followed Ziyu Yu into the depths. The Qilin sacred beast rushed in from the outside. It roared at Yang Wu as if it was not willing to let him in. Husband, release your heavenly thunder innate skill. Ziyu Yu said. Yang Wu listened to Ziyu Yu and released the heavenly thunderbone's innate skill. Many lightning runes revolved around his body, giving him a bit of charm. Ziyu Yu gently stroked the Qilin sacred beast's head and said, Baby Qilin, don't be afraid. He's the same as me. He will not harm you or destroy everything here. To the Qilin, this was its home. It was not a place that anyone could enter. The Qilin sacred beast looked at Yang Wu and retracted its evil aura. It rubbed against Ziyu Yu's side. The two of them rode into the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. The lightning energy there was even more concentrated. Every bolt had a shocking destructive power. Even a saint would not be able to withstand it. Ziyu Yu and Yang Wu had a tacit understanding. They held hands at the same time and released their innate skill to their heart's content. Ziyu Yu's lightning hammer and Yang Wu's lightning fork. The two types of energy intertwined and formed a strange magnetic field that enveloped them. It was as if a part of the world had been opened. Many lightning energies revolved around them, but they were unable to cause any harm to them. Suddenly, a heaven and earth phenomenon appeared. Two figures appeared. They looked like the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. They were aloof and remote, looking down on all living things. They controlled 10,000 bolts of lightning and carried out punishment on behalf of the heavens. Outside, the purple cloud thunder region. How Ren's old eyes broke through the layers of barriers and landed on the thunder region. When he saw the two figures that appeared above the thunder region, he was shocked and said, A disciple's wife can cause such a disturbance? Hao Ren hesitated for a moment before bringing little Nan An over to the purple cloud thunder region. He had to get closer to be able to see more clearly. Ziyu Yu and Yang Wu were both stunned. They never thought that the two people's magnetic fields could merge together and cause a heaven and earth phenomenon. They only felt that there was an ancient inheritance that awakened them. They vaguely grasped some of the mysteries of heaven. Unfortunately, their strength was not strong enough. They still could not inherit these mysteries of heaven. Even so, their control over lightning had become smoother and more natural. The god of thunder and the goddess of lightning have appeared. However, it seems that we have reversed. We have become the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. When Yang Wu came back to his senses, he could not help but laugh. Hee hee, maybe there's only the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning in this world. There is no god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. Ziyu laughed. The goddess of thunder is right. You have to treat me better in the future. Of course, of course. I will love you dearly, the goddess of lightning. The two of them flirted as they entered the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. This was a place that even saints did not dare to enter. Countless purple clouds and lightning wreaked havoc everywhere. The destructive power was truly terrifying. However, in this kind of danger zone, there was actually a plant growing. It was a purple flower that looked like a lotus, but was not one. It had a total of 99 petals and emitted an astonishing sacred light. Beside this sacred flower, there was something even more attractive. Chapter 841. The purple gold holy flower was an extraordinary holy flower. It could be ranked among the top of the holy medicines. Each of the 99 petals contained an extraordinary power of thunder and lightning. It was a holy object that martial artists who cultivated thunder chi desired. One petal could help them become a saint. Although this was a bit exaggerated, it was not without basis. Beside the purple gold holy flower, there was a pair of weapons, a hammer and a fork. They had been baptized by the purple clouds and thunder for a long time. Not only were they not damaged at all, but they were also shining and emitting a different power of thunder and lightning. Ziyu Yu and Yang Wu's eyes fell on the hammer and fork. Before they could take it, the hammer and fork flew up from the ground. A small crystal thunder hammer and a two-headed fork fell toward Ziyu and Yongwu respectively. The small thunder hammer's head was like a dragon, and the hammer's handle was like a dragon's body. There were lightning patterns all over it, like a thunder dragon. Anyone who touched it would die. The electric fork was also very strange. The two forks were as sharp as blades, like the fangs of a snake. There was a thunder and lightning bead in the middle of the fork, constantly releasing electricity. The high-voltage electricity was daunting. These two weapons automatically chose their masters. It was obvious that they were already psychic. Ziyu and Yongwu looked at each other, and then reached for the two weapons. When they came into contact with the two divine weapons, the electromagnetic field was released once again. The Thunder Hammer rune pattern and the Electric Fork rune pattern, the two types of destructive power that represented punishment, once again intertwined together. There was the sound of spring thunder and the sound of lightning flashing across the sky. Ziyu and Yongwu were both lucky. The Divine Court Dao Flower automatically imprinted an instinctive magic, the control of thunder and lightning. This was an extremely terrifying magic power. Of course, only when the two of them were together and released the thunder runes and electric runes at the same time could they form the real power of thunder and lightning. Neither could be missing. Ziyu couldn't help but wave her thunder hammer, and Yongwu cooperated with her to wave the electric fork. Thunder rumbled, and electricity splashed in all directions like snakes. The power of the thunder and lightning was earth-shattering, and it was enough to shake the saint aura. The Qilin was so scared that he hurriedly retreated. His eyes were filled with confusion, as if he couldn't understand how the two people in front of him could trigger the two divine weapons that he had been coveting for a long time. Ziyu moved like a sudden clap of thunder, and Yongwu leaped like lightning. They were performing a set of thunder punishment technique. This kind of mutant technique wasn't a battle technique, and it was even more mysterious than battle techniques. It could only be understood and not explained. The Thunder Dominion here had been turned upside down by the two of them. There was not a single peaceful place. Hao Run brought Nan Nan into the Thunder Dominion. Seeing the young couple stirring up the thunder and lightning, he couldn't help but blurt out, "These two little guys are really something." Since ancient times, only a few people were able to use the thunder hammer and electric fork. Even many powerhouses who cultivated the power of thunder found it difficult to display their full power. Later on, when they fell into the hands of the Heavenly Palace, only a few people were able to control them. Even after the Heavenly Palace was destroyed, this pair of divine weapons had never been taken away by anyone. They were not ordinary saint weapons, but divine weapons left behind from ancient times. It was rumored that they were innate divine weapons, and some people said that they were divine weapons. No matter which theory it was, it represented that they had extraordinary abilities. After half a day, Ziyu and Yongwu both stopped. The power in their bodies had been emptied, and their faces were pale. It was as if they had experienced an extremely fierce battle. "Put away the weapons first." Yongwu called out to Ziyu. Ziyu nodded. She wanted to put away the thunder hammer, but it didn't listen to her summons, and she didn't put it away. Yongwu also used his mind to put away the electric fork, but he couldn't do it either. However, Yongwu was no longer a fledgling who had just entered the transcendent realm. He quickly reacted and said, "Activate your innate skill and resonate with the weapons." Yongwu was the first to activate his lightning fork innate skill. The lightning fork rune imprinted itself on the lightning fork divine weapon. The lightning fork rune flickered on the lightning fork divine weapon. After the two combined, the lightning fork divine weapon finally moved. So, the weapon sank into Yongwu's body. It didn't enter Yongwu's universe space, but instead turned into electric fork runes that imprinted themselves onto his spine. After it entered, all the heavenly thunder bones in his body let out clanging sounds. This was the heavenly thunderbone sound. His heavenly thunderbone physique had been perfected. On the other side, Ziyu learned from Yongwu and activated the thunder hammer runes to form a connection with the weapon. The weapon transformed into a dragon and imprinted itself onto her jade-like skin. On her right shoulder, there was an additional thunder hammer imprint. Soon, the imprint disappeared without a trace. The divine weapon chose its master, and 10,000 thunders roared. The purple clouds in this lightning region were even more vigorous. Even Hao-Run, who wasn't far away, had no choice but to erect a defensive barrier to prevent little Nan-Nan from being injured. Big Brother and Big Sister are really powerful. Little Nan-Nan received Hao-Ren's help. He saw Yang Wu and Ziyu release boundless lightning energy and couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Then do you want to be as powerful as them in the future, or even surpass them? Hao-Ren took the opportunity to ask. I do, but I'm afraid I can't do it. Don't be afraid. Master is here. When you grow up, you'll be even more powerful than them. Don't lie to me. I don't have extravagant hopes of being stronger than Big Brother. I'll be satisfied if I'm half as strong as him. You'll only be stronger than him. If you lie to me, I'll pull off your beard. After Ziyu and Yang Wu received the two divine weapons, their strength recovered once again. They even felt that they were stronger than before. They were both overjoyed at this turn of events. I'll leave this purple gold sacred flower to you, Yang Wu said to Ziyu. Yang Wu didn't cultivate lightning profound qi, so this purple gold sacred flower didn't have an obvious effect on him. It was more suitable for Ziyu. Ziyu replied, this should belong to baby Qilin. The Qilin's sacred beast couldn't help but rejoice. It rushed to Ziyu's side and rubbed its head against her body, appearing very intimate. The Qilin is an auspicious beast. With its help in the future, you'll be like a tiger that has grown wings. Yang Wu was sincerely happy for Ziyu and said, the harvest of the Heavenly Palace's ruins was great. Ziyu smiled and said, I'm just basking in my husband's light. Without you, I wouldn't have this kind of opportunity. We don't need to be so polite. Let's go out first. Yang Wu held Ziyu's delicate hand and said. The two left together. Hao-Ren was already waiting for them outside. Greetings, Master. Yang Wu and Ziyu saluted together. Strictly speaking, Hao-Ren wasn't Ziyu's master. However, she was married to Yang Wu, so there was nothing wrong with calling him that. You've all obtained a lot of benefits. In the future, you'll have to properly rectify our Heavenly Palace's name. Hao-Ren warned. Then, he looked at the Qilin and beckoned it over. The Qilin obediently walked towards him, its eyes filled with fear. It was clear that it had suffered many losses in his hands. The Qilin arrived in front of Hao-Ren. It gently stroked his head and said, Little guy, you've grown up and found your master. It's time for you to go out and see the world. However, the outside world is quite dangerous. There are countless powerful creatures, and your entire body is filled with treasures. They can't wait to capture you or eat you alive. You have to be careful and learn to be low-key. Even if you take that step, you'll only barely have the ability to protect yourself. I have a pair of purple lightning gloves here. I'll give it to you as a parting gift. The Qilin looked at the gloves that were handed over, and its eyes were filled with emotion. It opened its mouth and received the gloves. Then, it let out a few low cries towards Hao-Ren. It seemed to be thanking the old man and bidding him farewell. Purple Yu looked a bit sad and blurted out, Baby Qilin, why don't you stay here? Hao-Ren replied, Take him out. Only then will he be able to take that step faster. The Qilin is an auspicious beast, but he is also a sacred beast. How can he stay in this place? Then, he said, I've already given you what you deserve. You can leave now. Yang Wu asked in astonishment, Master, don't you have anything to give me? Hao-Ren rolled his eyes at Yang Wu and said, You've extorted so many things and you still don't think it's enough? Master, you can't be fierce to Big Brother. Little Nan-Nan interrupted. How could I dare? Hao-Ren immediately admitted defeat. Yang Wu scratched the back of his head and said, I've only been in the Heavenly Palace for a few months. I don't think I've inherited the Heavenly Palace's inheritance. If I leave like this, my status as the eldest disciple won't live up to my name. The Heavenly Palace's area was very large. It wasn't just a small area in front of him. He firmly believed that there were many ancient inheritances here. Hao-Ren said, Don't bite off more than you can chew. It's enough. When you reach the Star Rune realm, you can come back again. All right, since Master doesn't welcome me, I'll leave. Yang Wu spread his hands and said. After pausing for a moment, he changed the topic and said, That's right, Master. I want to ask you for a favor. Don't ask. I won't agree to it. Haoren refused without any trace of politeness. Little Nan Nan. Yang Wu hurriedly asked Little Nan Nan for help. Without waiting for Little Nan Nan to speak, Haoren immediately replied, Fart. If you have something to say, then say it. Haoren's heart was filled with anger. Little Nan Nan was his life's nemesis. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to escape in this lifetime. I know where the mysterious essence Chi is, but with my current strength, I can't seize it. I want to ask Master to lend me a hand. Otherwise, I won't even be able to break through the heavenly fish realm. Master, you can't just stand by and watch me die. Yang Wu pleaded. This is your own matter. Master can't help you. Haoren refused. He then said earnestly, Since you can rely on your own ability to obtain the first 3 types of mysterious essence Chi, then whether or not you can gather the last 6 types is up to your luck. If Master rashly intervenes, it won't be a good thing for you. Just treat it as a tempering and slowly overcome it. Only in this way can you reach the great Tao. No, Master, you must help me. That place isn't something that can be reached by luck. Disciple, if you want to become a person above others, then you have to endure hardships. Don't be picky. On the path of martial arts, how can it be smooth sailing? AI, Little Nan Nan, I'm afraid that big brother won't be able to see you again. Where is the mysterious essence Chi? Immediately bring Master there. War Clan Realm Xing Family. Chapter 842. When Yang Wu was in the City of Redemption, he had come into contact with the Xing clan and sensed the mysterious essence Chi. He was certain that there was a type of mysterious essence Chi in the Xing clan's territory. The Xing clan was one of the battle clans. Their background was extremely strong. The Yang clan could only be bullied and humiliated. They had no way of directly challenging the Xing clan. Yang Wu did not expect the Yang clan to help him, so he could only ask his master to help. His master had casually given him the illusory wedding dress, which was one of the top 3 saint artifacts. His master's strength was probably at the level of a saint, or even at the level of a saint. Brat, you want to use me to deal with the Xing clan? Haoren narrowed his eyes. He was clear about the conflict between the Xing clan and the Yang clan, which was why he said that. Yang Wu shook his head. I will deal with the Xing clan myself in the future. Before that, I hope Master can help me obtain another type of mysterious essence Chi. Only then can I increase my cultivation speed and touch the saint realm. He paused for a moment, then added, If Master can't do anything to the Xing clan, then just pretend I didn't say anything. Do you really think that Master will be fooled by your inferior method of provocation? I'm just speaking the truth. If worst comes to worst, I'll think of something myself. I don't believe I can't get that mysterious essence Chi. The battle clans are all extraordinary. If the 8 great battle clans unite, even the Heavenly Palace wouldn't dare to underestimate them. Master doesn't care about the Xing clan. If you want the mysterious essence Chi, there's no problem, but you have to promise Master one thing. What is it, Master? As long as it's within my power, I won't even frown. Obtain the Heavenly Dragon Rankings Dragon Emperor and spread the name of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Dragon Rankings Dragon Emperor was the first place on the Heavenly Dragon ranking. This position had always been the junior sovereign position that countless heaven's prides of the younger generation yearned for. Whoever obtained this position would represent the strongest potential and talent of the younger generation. They would be known as the number 1 person who could suppress their peers. What kind of glory was this? Countless heaven's prides of the younger generation would spend decades, or even hundreds of years, to cultivate bitterly, not for longevity, but for fame. Haoren's requirements for Yang Wu were extremely high. The Dragon Phoenix list will be held once every 50 years. It represented the competition for the strongest minor saint below the age of 100. Countless heaven's prides have been waiting for that day to come. Once it started, it would be a fierce battle between dragons and tigers. It would be extremely difficult to be the champion. Yang Wu hadn't reached the dragon transformation realm yet. Even if he had the battle prowess of a semi-saint, it didn't mean that he was invincible below the saint realm. There were still many peerless geniuses and hidden evildoers with extraordinary battle prowess. Anyone who let their guard down would be the first to be eliminated. Yang Wu knew about the situation of the Dragon Phoenix list from Sun Yong and knew that his master's request was not low. He hesitated for a moment before replying, "I'll do my best." "No, you must do it. If you can't do it, then die." Hao Ren's eyes shone with a fierce light as he emphasized, "Master, you're not allowed to be fierce to Big Brother." Little Nan Nan fiercely looked at Hao Ren and said. This time, Hao Ren didn't take Little Nan Nan's words seriously. He gently pressed the back of her neck, and she unconsciously fell asleep. He looked at Yang Wu and said, "In the future, Little Nan Nan will stay by my side. I will nurture her into the most outstanding genius of the Heavenly Palace. I'm relieved to have her by your side. I will definitely become the Dragon Monarch." Yang Wu promised with high fighting spirit. If he didn't want to die, then he would do his best to fulfill his master's request. After Yang Wu promised Hao Ren, they prepared to leave the ruins of the Heavenly Palace. As for Jiang Ping, who had once again charged out of the battle mound, he proudly shouted, "I'm invincible in the same realm. Who else can be my opponent? The battle mound is nothing. I've continuously charged through it." At this time, Jiang Ping was very miserable. His whole body was tattered and stained with blood. Only the sacred armor protected his vitals. Without the sacred armor, he wouldn't have been able to survive. Last time, he relied on his speed to escape from the battle mound. This time, he relied on his own strength to charge through. He also fought a fierce battle with a half-step Saint Realm battle spirit. In the end, he defeated the battle spirit and gained a deeper level of comprehension. He obtained a great harvest. Jiang Ping dripped his blood on the sword steel and officially became a disciple of the Heavenly Palace. He proudly said, "I should be the first disciple. In the future, the position of Heavenly Palace Master will also be inherited by me." Ha! Before his smile fell, Hao Ren's voice rang out, "You're the third disciple. The first is Yang Wu, and the second is Little Nan Nan. In the future, when you see them, you have to greet them as junior brothers." Jiang Ping jumped up and said, "You're too biased. Last time, I clearly passed the battle mound, but you didn't verify my identity. Now that I've passed it with great difficulty, you want me to be the third disciple. I'm not convinced." "Oomph, you want to fight this old man alone?" Hao Ren looked at Jiang Ping and coldly snorted. Hao Ren was only a clone and not his real body. However, he still exuded an incomparably powerful aura. Jiang Ping didn't have such courage. He quickly lowered his voice and said, "This disciple wouldn't dare. Martial uncle, don't be angry. Don't be angry. It's not impossible for you to be the first disciple. You can even be the successor of the Heavenly Palace. As long as you do one thing, I can make the decision to let you inherit the position." "What is it?" "Become the Dragon Emperor. Heavenly Dragon, rankings Dragon Emperor?" "Yes." "Good deal. The Dragon Emperor's position is mine." In another direction, Hao Ren took Little Nan Nan, Yang Wu, and Yu Yu and left the Heavenly Palace ruins. With the help of the Heavenly Palace token, they disappeared and appeared outside the Heavenly Palace ruins. There were still many ice race creatures guarding this place. When Yang Wu's group came out, they didn't notice the existence of Yang Wu's group. With Hao Ren here, all auras were concealed. Hao Ren sent a sound transmission to Yang Wu. "The ice race are our Heavenly Palace's guards. In the future, if you have the ability, you can make them work for you. For now, let them guard this place." Yang Wu was stunned. How powerful was the ice race? They were actually only Heavenly Palace's guards. How powerful was the Heavenly Palace at its peak? Yang Wu recovered and said, "Master, I want to take a trip to Heaven Domain City first." Hao Ren also had a reasonable side. He agreed to Yang Wu's request. Hao Ren brought Yang Wu's group and quickly headed towards Heaven Domain City. Hao Ren's speed was terrifyingly fast. Yang Wu and Ziyue were unable to sense the sound of the wind, nor were they able to clearly see the changes in their surroundings. They could only see a hazy scene constantly passing by. Not long after, they arrived outside Heaven Domain City. I'll give you 1 day to deal with your matters. Then I'll take you to the Xing family alone." Hao said. Yang Wu recovered and bowed to Hao. Then he brought Yu and the Qilin towards Heaven Domain City. They didn't walk far before they heard Hao voice. "Liner, don't swagger in like that. You're just looking to die." The Qilin's movement stiffened. Soon, it shrunk its body and turned into a small purple dog. It was impossible to see its identity as a saint beast. Ziyu was overjoyed. She hugged it in her arms and gently stroked it as she said, "So cute." Yang Wu and Ziyu held hands and walked side by side into Heaven Domain City. Once they reached the city, it meant that they would have to separate. Yu, are you going back to Purple Firmament Hall?" Yang Wu asked in a soft voice. Ziyu gently nodded and said, "And I also want to travel the world with you. However, I can't right now. I'm sorry." She couldn't help but hold Yang Wu's hand tightly. She didn't want to leave him either. Yang Wu gave a light smile and said, "It's fine. The future is ours. Before long, I will go to Purple Firmament Hall to welcome you. And I believe in you. If we work hard together, no one will be able to stop us." Ziyu firmly said. When the two of them were about to enter the city, a group of people quickly rushed out of the city. They were the people from Purple Firmament Hall. Ziyu hadn't even entered the city, and Purple Firmament Hall already knew about her. This was the terrifying part of a giant power. The person leading the Purple Firmament Hall was Lei Shuyang. Behind him were the geniuses of Purple Firmament Hall, as well as a few old protectors. When Lei Shuyang heard that Ziyu had appeared, he was in a good mood. However, when he saw her holding hands with a youth, his purple hair exploded. The eyes of the other youths from Purple Firmament Hall were filled with flames of jealousy. They wanted nothing more than to tear Yang Wu to pieces. "Yang Wu, you still dare to seduce my junior sister? Do you want to die?" Lei Shuyang would never forget the youth that had defeated him. He had always wanted to wash away his shame one day. After Yang Wu saw Lei Shuyang, he gave a light smile and said, "I am still in my youth. How could I want to die? But you, the loser, want to jump around again?" Lei Shuyang quickly rushed over. He glared at Yang Wu and said, "Get away from my junior sister." Ziyu blocked in front of Yang Wu and said, "Senior brother, please show some respect to my husband." Ziyu's words were like a bolt from the blue. Lei Shuyang and the youths from Purple Firmament Hall were struck by lightning, causing them to lose their minds. You, what do you mean by this?" Lei Shuyang couldn't believe what he had heard. He stuttered as he looked at Ziyu. "Are you deaf? He is my husband. I hope you will show some respect in the future. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you." Ziyu emphasized calmly. Yang Wu, who was beside her, felt as if he was drinking spring water. His entire body was carefree. The slug had grown up. You are our Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden. How could you and him? This is definitely not true." Lei Shuyang still couldn't accept this fact. He angrily glared at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, get out here. What did you do to my junior sister?" Yang Wu stood out and gently held Ziyu's shoulder and said, "She is my wife. Don't think about her in the future." This is definitely not true. Yang Wu, do you know how powerful our Purple Firmament Hall is? You want to eat swan meat? No way. Lei Shuyang revealed a sinister expression as he shouted. A rushing thunder palm slapped towards Yang Wu's face. Thunder and lightning flew, and killing intent rose in all directions. Chapter 843. Lei Shuyang was the saint son of the Purple Cloud Palace. His talent was not inferior to Ziyu's, and his battle talent was also abnormally strong. He wanted to kill Yang Wu, so he did not show any mercy. A purple palm print that was suffused with thunder and lightning slammed towards Yang Wu. The power of this palm print could penetrate through walls and mountains. Without waiting for Yang Wu to make a move, Ziyu appeared in front of Yang Wu and easily blocked Lei Shuyang's palm. She shouted, "Are you done yet?" Lightning flashed behind Ziyu, and a purple dragon condensed. The aura of the dragon transformation realm enveloped Lei Shuyang, not giving him a chance to make a move. Lei Shuyang said in shock, "You've taken that step?" Lei Shuyang grew up in the Purple Firmament Palace and obtained many cultivation resources. This was why he was able to reach the peak of the heavenly fish realm at the age of 30. Ziyu had only returned to the Purple Firmament Palace for a few years. Not only had she caught up to him, she had even surpassed him. This was something that he found hard to accept. "It's good that you know," Ziyu calmly replied before emphasizing. "I respectfully call you senior brother because we are from the same sect. I hope you won't make things difficult for me." Lei Xiong looked at Ziyu's indifferent expression and felt his heart being pierced. He felt extremely uncomfortable as he gritted his teeth and said, "My feelings for you. Can't you feel it all? The sacred elders in the palace all think that we are a match made in heaven. How can you live up to their expectations like this?" Ziyu said in a deep voice, "That's your problem and their problem. What does it have to do with me? I've always told you that I have someone I like, but you didn't believe me. He is just an ordinary person. How can he be worthy of you? Because we are truly in love. No one can separate us." "All right, since it's like this, then there's nothing else to say. Tell him to take care of himself." Lei Xiong could see that Ziyu was determined, so he didn't want to say anything more. After glaring at Yang Wu, he turned around and returned to Sky Domain City. He roared in his heart, "Ziyu, you betrayed me today. In the future, I will make you kneel and lick my feet. I am the future young hall master of the Purple Firmament Palace. You will regret humiliating me for a mere piece of trash." At this moment, Lei Xiong had completely given up on his love for Ziyu. His love had also given birth to hatred. The geniuses of the Purple Firmament Palace were also in a bad mood. They were not in a mood to talk to Ziyu as they all returned to the city. An old law protector said to Ziyu, "Saintess, please come back with me. Elder Sheng is very worried about your safety." "Okay, wait for me," Ziyu softly replied. She then looked at Yang Wu and said emotionally, "If two people love each other for a long time, why would they be together every day? Husband, I'll wait for you to openly come to the Purple Firmament Palace to pick me up." Yang Wu held Ziyu's hand and gently kissed her forehead as he said, "Don't worry, that day won't be too far away. I believe in you." Ziyu's eyes sparkled as she replied. After hugging Yang Wu, she followed the law protectors of the Purple Firmament Palace back to the city. She looked back every 10 steps as her beautiful eyes were filled with reluctance. Yang Wu kept looking at her until she disappeared from his sight. Only then did he walk towards the city. He secretly sighed in his heart, "Wife, wait for me." Yang Wu quickly entered the city and returned to the inn he had stayed in before. He wanted to find Qing Feng, White-Haired Demoness, by Luo Yin, Yang Jinlong, and the others. As expected, when he returned to the inn, he found that they were still waiting for him. When Qing Feng saw Yang Wu, she felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted off her shoulders. She had been too anxious during this period of time. Originally, her grandmother had told her to protect Yang Wu. However, she had repeatedly failed. If something happened to Yang Wu, she would not have the face to return to the Yang clan. "Sister Feng, I've made you worry," Yang Wu said to Qing Feng with embarrassment. "Okay, it's good that you're fine," Qing Feng lightly replied. After that, Yang Wu briefly explained his situation to White-Haired Demoness by Luo Yun and Yang Jinlong. He also told them to hurry back to the Yang clan first. He could not travel with them. As for Fei Hu, Hong Mo, and Hong Ying, the 3 little saints, Yang Wu did not have time to pay attention to them. If they were willing to follow him, he would allow them to return with Qing Feng. If they were not willing to follow him, he would let them go. Fei Hu, Hong Mo, and Hong Ying all knew that Yang Wu's origin was extraordinary. They also knew that Yang Wu and little Nan had obtained a primordial treasure. Their futures were limitless. They did not choose to leave. Instead, they were willing to follow Yang Wu and serve him. Yang Wu let them follow Qing Feng back to the War Clan realm. Before leaving, Yang Wu had to tell Qing Feng something. Otherwise, she would follow him. The two of them were alone in a room, isolated from the outside world. Yang Wu went straight to the point and said, "Elder Sister Feng, I'm going to cultivate with my master and will return to the Yang family after a while. You don't have to follow me." "No," Qing Feng decisively refused. Qing Feng was the incarnation of a Wan Feng. She was extremely beautiful and tall. Her blue feather robes accentuated her curvaceous figure. She was a beauty that could move any man's heart. "You have to," Yang Wu said with the spirit of a master. Qing Feng's murderous aura was overflowing. She was a beast saint and Yang Wu's guardian. Before Yang Wu grew up, she would not listen to him completely. "My teacher is a heaven-piercing expert. You don't have to worry. Grandmother's lifespan is almost up. You should go back and take a look." Yang Wu lowered his voice. Qing Feng looked sad and said, "Grandmother told me to leave. She didn't want me to see her pass away. When you go back and pay your respects to her, tell her that I'll take a few more heads of the Xing clan for her." Yang Wu said seriously. He paused and said, "My teacher is from the Heaven Palace. Grandmother knows that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to leave the Heaven Domain mountain range so easily. I won't play around with my life." Qing Feng narrowed her eyes and said, "Then I'll wait for you in the clan." After a pause, she added, "Come back alive." "Thank you, Sister Feng," Yang Wu said sincerely. Just like that, Yang Wu and Qing Feng went their separate ways. Even though Yang Zhenlong begged to go with Yang Wu, he was forced to leave by Yang Wu. This time, he wouldn't be able to go to the Xing clan. He couldn't take them with him. Before they separated, Yang Wu repeatedly urged them to cultivate well and not slack off in the slightest. After Yang Wu finished explaining everything, he quickly left the Heavenly Domain city, preparing to meet up with his master. Just as he left the city, he sensed that someone was following him. He shouted, "Come out, you scoundrel!" After he finished speaking, 3 figures rushed out and stood in different positions, forming a triangle and surrounding Yang Wu. They were the 3 guardian elders from the Purple Heaven Palace. The 3 protector elders had cold expressions, and their old eyes were filled with killing intent. They did not speak, but their auras rolled out, forming a powerful chi field that completely sealed off Yang Wu's path of escape. "Aren't you afraid that your holy maiden will be angry?" Yang Wu looked at the 3 of them and said calmly. He could feel that the 3 of them weren't weak. One was in the advanced dragon transformation realm, and the other 2 were in the intermediate dragon transformation realm. This kind of lineup was enough to kill a heavenly fish realm warrior. A dead person isn't worth getting angry over. Are you going to kill yourself, or do you want us to send you on your way? The advanced dragon transformation realm elder said coldly. "You're saying the opposite. I'm the one sending you on your way." Yang Wu crossed his arms and said calmly, "A mere heavenly fish realm trash dares to be so arrogant. I really don't know why the Holy Maiden would like someone like you. Maybe it's because you're born with good looks. Stop talking nonsense and send him on his way." The other 2 intermediate dragon transformation realm protectors said one after another. As they were talking, one of them attacked Yang Wu. Life-seizing hand. That person stretched out a sharp hand and grabbed Yang Wu's throat. A fatal attack that could sever one's soul. The intermediate dragon transformation realm protector didn't show any mercy. Their holy maiden had said that this person had some life-saving trump cards and couldn't be careless. Just as the hand was about to land in front of Yang Wu casually raised his hand and blocked the attack. The next moment, he said with a trace of killing intent, "You've sent yourselves to your deaths. Don't blame me." Yang Wu counterattacked, leaving behind an afterimage. His real body was already beside the dragon transformation realm protector, and his elbow slammed toward the protector's heart. Bang! The protector didn't even have the chance to react. His minor saint armor was shattered by the impact, and the powerful force entered his heart, turning it into a pool of blood. His body flew backward like a prawn bow, spitting out blood. His breathing was completely cut off. The other 2 protectors narrowed their eyes, and a chill ran through their bodies. They subconsciously took a few steps back, and a word flashed through their minds. Run! However, would they be able to escape? Yang Wu moved like a ghost, catching up to the other intermediate dragon transformation realm protector, and swinging his arm toward the latter's temple. Barbaric God's arm. The force of this arm was like a mountain crashing down. The protector's head was instantly smashed into a pool of blood, and he died without any room for resistance. How can he be so strong? The remaining High Dragon Transformation Realm Protector cried out in shock. Even he couldn't catch sight of that youth's figure. There was no way he could fight this battle. Even with his strength, it was difficult for him to easily kill his two companions. But that youth had done it. The youth's strength could only be stronger than his. He didn't hesitate anymore and fled. Survival was more important. If he lost face, then so be it. It wasn't a big deal. Yang Wu didn't give chase. The falling moon bow appeared in his hand, and the bow was fully drawn. A blue light gathered on the arrow, and it instantly shot out. The blue light was like a rainbow, and the arrow's momentum was shocking. It drew a beautiful arc in the air. Bang! The arrow exploded, and the protector died. Chapter 844. War Race Realm. This was the central area of the Transcendent Realm. They had been the masters of this place since ancient times. No major powers dared to have any ideas about the war race. The war race was the royal family of the human race. Among them, the Xinyuan clan was the ancestor of the human race. They were the oldest and most terrifying power in the Transcendent Realm. Even the Heavenly Palace did not dare to be impudent in front of the Xinyuan clan, let alone provoke the 8 great war races. The 8 great war races used to have a good relationship with each other. However, as the people's hearts changed, the conflicts of interest between the war races became different. The war race's Xing family was ranked in the top 3 of the 8 great war races. It was not only because they had a large population, but also because they had a Punisher fire field. It was rumored that the Punisher fire descended from the outer realms. It was an eternal and inextinguishable sacred fire. It became the source of the Xing family strength. The Punisher fire field was extremely important. It was a forbidden area of the Xing family. Those who were not from the Xing family were not allowed to approach it. Within a radius of a few thousand li, there were restrictions and formations set up by the Xing family saints. It isolated everything from the outside world. The Xing family members did not dare to approach the Punisher fire field. They were afraid that they would be devoured by the Punisher fire. Normally, they would only send some of the younger generation here to cultivate. The lucky ones would be able to obtain the Punisher fire's origin energy and obtain the Punisher fire body, inheriting the Xing family's bloodline power. The Punisher fire field was divided into 7 layers. Each layer had a different Punisher fire energy. One had to at least reach the Earthsea realm to enter the first and second layer. Reaching the Heavenly Fish realm would allow one to enter the 3rd layer. Reaching the Dragon Transformation realm would allow one to enter the 4th layer. Each layer had a different fire, Xianqi energy. The weaker the outermost layer, the more terrifying it was. After reaching the 5th layer, even a saint would be burned to death. The flames in the outermost layer were almost invisible. However, the high temperature was incomparably intense. Even those who cultivated fire Xianqi would feel uncomfortable when they got close. Those below the Earthsea realm would die from the heat. Currently, the Punisher fire field's 1st and 2nd layer had the most people cultivating here. There were definitely more than 10,000 people. The younger ones were not more than 14 or 15 years old, while the older ones were not older than 30 years old. At this age, if one did not reach the Earthsea realm, they would not have any future. They were all forming hand seals as they frantically absorbed the fire profound chi here. Some people were caught in the fire, and their screams rang out incessantly. In the end, they were burned alive. Unfortunately, no one paid any attention to them. Some people absorbed a large amount of fire energy, and their auras were rising steadily, attracting a lot of attention. In this place, those who were outstanding in their cultivation would always be favored. Those who failed in their cultivation would just be treated as failures. No one cared about them at all. There was a girl in the Xing family called Xing Jiesin. She was only 18 years old and had outstanding talent in cultivation. She had already reached the peak of the Earthsea realm and was expected to enter the Heavenly Fish realm within a year. She was called the queen of the youngest generation of the Xing clan. It would not be long before she was crowned as the saintess. She wasn't particularly beautiful, but she had a natural domineering aura. It was as if wherever she appeared, no one dared to easily look at her. She was far ahead of her peers, which encouraged her domineering aura. Since she was young, countless halos shrouded her head. Countless young boys and girls followed her left and right. She was the queen, and everyone else was just a foil. Today, Xing Jiasin appeared in the deepest part of the second layer. The ground here was like charcoal, and the intense fire chi was enough to burn any Earth-Sea realm martial artist. Even if they used their chi to defend, it would still be difficult to resist. This fire chi had a natural devouring power that was simply unstoppable. The young girl stepped barefoot into this fiery domain. Despite her bare feet, her jade-like feet were actually not burned by the fiery ground. Dozens of youths followed her. Each of them was using their battle chi to resist the heat. No one was as relaxed as Xing Jiasin. When they approached the third floor, the girl raised her right hand, and everyone stopped. The girl said faintly, "You can go back. You are not strong enough to enter the third layer." The girl's tone left no room for doubt. No one dared to disobey. "Jiasin, be careful. The third layer is not protected by the heavenly fish armor. It will not be easy to pass. Don't force yourself. You are already outstanding enough," an extremely handsome youth said gently. This youth was 2 or 3 years older than Xing Jiasin, and had also reached the peak of the Earth-Sea realm. He was one of the best in the younger generation of the Xing clan. He was also one of Xing Jiasin's admirers. Another mature youth said, "Jiasin, I will wait for you to break through to the heavenly fish realm." After a pause, he added, "I will not be left behind by you." The youth's heart sprouted like a gentle breeze. It was destined that it would be difficult to take away the willow leaves. The girl did not even bother to reply. She just waved her hand casually and stepped into the third layer. The third layer was called the small fire stage. This stage had tangible flames. Each flame had the power to burn a heavenly fish realm cultivator. Earth-Sea realm cultivators would die upon entering. Since ancient times, the number of geniuses of the Xing clan who could enter the third layer in the Earth-Sea realm could be counted on one hand. Today, New Jiasin successfully entered the third layer and caused the strange phenomenon of 10,000 flames. Outside the Blaze Domain Training Hall, 3 uninvited guests arrived. They were hidden between heaven and earth. No one could sense their auras or discover their whereabouts. 1 old, 1 young, and 1 young. Hao Run, Yang Wu, and Little Nan had already arrived at the Blaze Domain Training Hall from the distant Sky Domain City. It had only been 3 days. The Blaze Domain is the Xing clan's forbidden area. "Are you sure the mysterious essence chi is here?" Hao Run asked Yang Wu. Yang Wu nodded heavily and said, "I can't be wrong. My senses are getting stronger and stronger." Since that's the case, you can go in yourself. For 7 days, I can block the senses of the Xing clan's saints and above. They won't be able to discover your existence. As for whether or not you can obtain the mysterious essence chi, that will depend on your ability. Don't expect me to help you with anything else." Hao Ren replied, "Many thanks, Master. This is already enough." Yang Wu said gratefully. Little Nan said, "Master, you could just help Big Brother obtain the mysterious essence chi. Why do you have to let Big Brother take the risk?" Without waiting for Hao Run to reply, Yang Wu stroked Little Nan's head and said, "Little Nan, Master is doing this for my own good. In the future, listen to Master obediently and learn some skills. That way, you can help Big Brother." Little Nan nodded repeatedly and said, "I'll listen to Big Brother." After a pause, she added, "In the future, I'll be stronger than Master. If he dares to bully you again, I'll bully him." Hao Ren's old face darkened. Yang Wu smiled and said, "Good girl. You're already stronger than Master now." After saying this, he walked towards the restriction that Hao Run had torn open. There was a saint's restriction here, as well as a saint's array. If an outsider tried to force their way in, they would definitely die. Hao Run was also quite amazing. He forcefully tore open an opening without triggering the restriction or the array's power, allowing Yang Wu to successfully enter. His strength was truly great. After Yang Wu entered, Hao Run brought Little Nan and flew up. He took out an item and gently waved it while muttering, "Saint Bestowment." It was impossible to see what it was, but a streak of light streaked across the sky and quickly covered the area, isolating it from the saint's perception. Brat, if you don't come out in 7 days, Master won't have the ability to force his way in and rescue you. Howard thought to himself. The Xing family had existed for countless years and had countless experts. Howard was confident that he would not be afraid of them. However, in the Blaze Domain Dao field, he did not dare to be arrogant. The Blaze Domain Dao field was a Xiantian Dao field that possessed terrifying power. Yang Wu entered the Blaze Domain from a corner, and a dense fire aura quickly spread towards him. The blue enchantress on his chest became lively. Don't be in such a rush. Wait for us to go a bit deeper, and then I'll let you devour as much as you want. Yang Wu held his chest and comforted it. In the next moment, he quickly circulated the Regal 9 profound arts to sense the location of the profound essence qi. Very quickly, the Regal 9 profound arts gave him directions. He quickly rushed into the depths of the Blaze Domain. The first layer of the Blaze Domain was filled with profound fire qi. The air was incomparably hot, and it took up a large area. There were many fire-attributed plants growing here, such as the sunflower, red flame grass, summer spirit. Yang Wu restrained his aura and quickly rushed in. He didn't pay much attention to the spirit herbs, as his time was limited, and he didn't want to waste any time here. After moving for a while, he saw a figure in front of him and quickly moved away. Before he could hide himself, he sensed the presence of fire elemental creatures. They were not humans, but raging flame tigers and fire pythons. They could also occupy a place here. Perhaps they were the Xing family's mounts. Yang Wu had no choice but to carefully move forward in fear of being discovered by others. Yang Wu went in and realized that there were quite a number of people cultivating here. Each of the youths had their own area and were cultivating quietly. There were also spirit demons taking in demonic aura and fire aura. Yang Wu sighed in his heart. There's a reason why the Xing family is so strong. Suddenly, a young girl let out a blood-curdling scream. Her body was on fire, and the fire was not small. No matter how she struggled, she could not suppress the fire. She screamed as she was burned. The youths not far from her did not seem to hear her screams, and just let her be burned alive. Seeing this, Yang Wu couldn't help but click his tongue. The temperature here was very high, and the profound fire qi was abundant. It was indeed easy to catch fire. The fire here wasn't simple. It was the sacred level Punisher fire. Even if it was just a small flame, it wasn't something that an ordinary person could withstand. If they couldn't refine it, they would be consumed by it. If the youths of the Xing family couldn't withstand the fire, they would have died in vain. No one would save them. This was the cultivation path that the Xing family targeted at the younger generation. It was also their path of self-improvement. How cruel! Yang Wu exclaimed. If a family nurtured its younger generation like this, it would either be destroyed or become extremely glorious. He understood the true reason why the Xing family was so strong. Chapter 845. Fire Zone Dojo. This place was shrouded in dark clouds all year round. It looked like the face of a demon, but it also looked like all kinds of demons were dancing around. Newcomers would be frightened by this strange scene. A young man from the outside entered this fire zone. He quickly passed through the first level of the fire zone and stepped onto the second level of the fire zone. After arriving here, he could see fire profound Qi King medicines everywhere. Every stalk was tender and alluring, and the medicinal fragrance was full of fragrance. The youth was moved just by looking at them. He forcibly suppressed the impulse in his heart and continued to go inside. He was very fast. He passed by the young people who were cultivating. They could not detect his presence. There were many times when a young man wanted to kill the young people here, but he did not do so in the end. The Xing and Yang families had been enemies since ancient times. If Yang Wu killed the young people here, it would be like cutting off the Xing family's next generation of successors. Yang Wu did not do so. It was not because he was soft-hearted, but because he knew the importance of the matter. His main goal was to get the mysterious essence qi. Everything else could be put aside for now. Yang Wu quickly reached the depths of the second level of the fire zone. He could feel that the fire xian qi here was much thicker than the first level. Ordinary warriors in the Earthsea realm would not be able to withstand it. The temperature of the fire here did not pose any threat to him. He quickly reached the border between the second and third level and entered without hesitation. On the third level, the flames of the Punisher fire jumped from time to time. They looked like black fire spirits. They looked very cute, but their burning power was much stronger than ordinary flames. After Yang Wu arrived here, he discovered that these flames were all worshipping in one direction, which made him feel very surprised. Is there something over there that is attracting them? Yang Wu did not hesitate to fly in that direction. The mysterious essence, Qi, happened to be in that direction as well. At this time, he could no longer suppress blue demoness. It produced a powerful sucking force and began to devour the flames here. The flames here kept flying towards Yang Wu's heart and were quickly absorbed by blue demoness. The power of these flames was a great supplement for any martial artist who cultivated fire Xianqi, but it wasn't very effective for blue demonji. Only a small sacred flame or a sacred flame could help it advance. After a while, Yang Wu was finally discovered by the creatures here. A black snake rushed out of the ground and bit at Yang Wu. This was a python in the heavenly demon realm. He did not care if Yang Wu was from the Xing family. As long as he entered his territory, he could kill him. This was a rule set by the Xing family. It was also a form of training for the younger generation of the Xing family. Yang Wu thought that he had been discovered. He attacked like the wind, and his powerful fist blasted the python's body into two halves. Hiss! In an instant, more than 10 pythons appeared. Some of them spat fire, some whipped their tails. All kinds of attacks enveloped Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not dare to leave. He was afraid that these pythons would send out a distress signal. Only by quickly erasing them could he put an end to future troubles. Bang! Yang Wu turned into a blur. He used his fists, palms, and legs to kill the pythons one by one. In a few blinks of an eye, there was only a pile of snake body parts left on the ground. Yang Wu continued forward. He was more careful than before, but no matter how careful he was, he could not avoid the people of the Xing family. This was the Xing family's territory. There are many people from the Xing family who cultivated here. Yang Wu was on the path to find the Xian essence Qi. He could not avoid fighting with the Xing family, so he could only kill. 3 people from the Xing family were killed by Yang Wu. They did not even know who killed them. If you want to blame someone, blame it on the fact that you are from the Xing family. Yang Wu sighed in his heart. He was not a person who liked to kill the innocent, but he was not a pedantic person either. Yang Wu continued to move forward. His goal should be at a deeper level. In front of him, there was a young girl who was surrounded by flames. Countless flames kept entering her body. Black battle runes appeared between her eyebrows. It was as if a queen had descended. She was extremely domineering. The young girl came to the intersection between the 3rd and 4th level. The flames here were so dense that they could kill a heavenly fish realm cultivator. She was still in the Earthsea realm, but she was not afraid of these flames. She was really different. I feel like something is attracting me. Could it be the fire seed of Xinghua? Xing Jiasen muttered with an aura that did not match his age. The next moment, she stepped into the 4th level without hesitation. The flames here were not simple flames. It could be described as a field of fire. Clusters of black flames were burning everywhere. The terrifying heat spread to every corner. Even the heavenly armor of a top-tier heavenly fish realm cultivator was useless in front of these flames. The 4th level of the fire domain was the field of fire. There was enough Xinghua origin energy here. As long as one could absorb and refine it, they would have the power of Xinghua. The young girl was surrounded by flames. Her battle runes displayed an inexplicable power. They devoured part of the flames while isolating the other flames. This was what she relied on to not be burned to death in the deeper levels. There was a space between the 4th and 5th level. There were no flames there, but it was filled with dense fire Xianqi. There were piles of fire essence crystals. Each piece of fire essence crystal was extremely precious. It was a small sacred item for cultivation. It was also an important material for forging small saint weapons. A top-grade fire essence crystal was a saint material. The large amount of fire essence crystals here was one of the Xing family's most important ores. This place was also an important place to excavate fire essence crystals. There was a cave that led straight to the ground. The Xing family's small saints were mining here. Because of the special environment here, the Xing family arranged for only a limited number of people to excavate fire essence crystals each year. The excavation speed was also relatively slow. In this month, there were only 200 people from the Xing family excavating here. They were all people who had made mistakes in the Xing family and had been sent here. Otherwise, no one would be willing to work here. The people here were half-step saints. They were there to monitor these people who had made mistakes and to prevent them from embezzling. The young girl walked all the way to the entrance of the mine. When the half-step saint sensed the young girl's arrival, his old eyes flashed with surprise. He rushed over and bowed slightly. "Greetings, young miss." The young girl waved her hand and said, "No need for formalities." She then asked, "Has anything strange happened here recently?" The half-step saint shook his head and said, "Nothing has happened." "Young miss, is there something wrong?" The young girl slightly frowned and said, "Nothing. Maybe I'm making a fuss over nothing." The young girl did not leave and sat down cross-legged nearby. The moment she sat down, her cultivation level suddenly loosened and advanced towards the heavenly fish realm. Balls of black flames wrapped around her and formed a black fire cocoon around her. No matter who it was, they would find it hard to believe that this was caused by a person breaking through. When the half-step saint saw this, he could not help but click his tongue and say, "So powerful." Others might not know the young girl's identity, but he knew that she was destined to be the most dazzling star of the Xing family. When Yang Wu entered the fourth floor, more and more flames gathered around him. The blue demoness in his heart was like a starving child, crazily devouring its food. "I'm very close." When Yang Wu entered the fourth floor, he felt the reaction of the Supreme Nine profound formula become more intense. "Who are you?" Suddenly, a voice sounded from not far away. Yang Wu was shocked. His sensing ability covered a radius of a few miles. He knew where there were people and where there were no people. How could he not know when someone suddenly appeared near him? Yang Wu quickly calmed down. He looked at the direction of the voice and asked, "Who are you?" Only the Xing family was allowed to enter this place to cultivate. There were many descendants of the Xing family, so they should not know each other. A young man in battle armor walked out. He had an extraordinary appearance. He was holding a halberd, and his body was covered with layers of dragon scales. His cultivation level had reached the realm of high-grade minor saint. This young man looked somewhat similar to Xing Baiyan. Even if the two of them weren't blood brothers, they were definitely close. Yang Wu looked at the dazzling headband on the young man's forehead. There was a piece of amber crystal embedded in the middle of the headband. It might be a small sane item that could isolate one's qi. "You don't even know me. You are definitely not a member of the Xing family. Who allowed you to sneak in?" The young man stared at Yang Wu coldly and questioned. Yang Wu wanted to kill this young man quickly, but he could feel that the young man's combat strength was not as simple as it looked on the surface. Unless he used the ice blade wings to kill the young man, it would be difficult for him to use the ice blade wings to conceal his attack in this fire domain. Yang Wu quickly lowered his stance and said, "Actually, I am an illegitimate child. It was the seniors in the family who allowed me to sneak in." The young man said condescendingly, "I knew that some people in the family were becoming more and more presumptuous. They dared to violate the family rules and let people in." He paused for a moment and then said, "You are not bad. You have reached the peak of the heavenly fish realm at such a young age. You can even enter the fourth level. It seems that you have awakened the Xing fire innate talent. What is your name?" The young man did not doubt Yang Wu's words. The Xing family was a large family. Every year, some strange young men would be sent in. Most of these young men were the bastards of the old men in the family. They had the Xing family's bloodline, but had not received the family's approval. Only by secretly sending them into the fire domain to cultivate could they increase their strength and obtain the family's approval to become a part of the Xing family. "Young master, my name is Xing Wu," Yang Wu said with a look of fear. "Xing Wu, that is a very common name. There are at least 8 of them in the family, the young man said disdainfully. He then came to Yang Wu's side and said, "From now on, you can be my follower. I will not mistreat anyone around me." The young man was very generous, but it was a pity that he did not have good eyesight. "Thank you, young master. I will not mistreat anyone around me." Bang! Ah! Chapter 846. The young man hadn't been killed by Yang Wu. He had a protective talisman on him, which was given to him by a saint of the Xing family. The talisman was said to keep him safe for the rest of his life. Yang Wu's killing blow had been blocked by this talisman. It was a holy talisman, and Yang Wu wasn't strong enough to destroy it. Yang Wu hadn't killed the young man with one blow, but he had made him suffer. Kill. Yang Wu's whereabouts had been exposed. He couldn't give the young man a chance to call for help. He had to kill him quickly. Yang Wu's battle aura was overflowing, and his fists were shocking as he attacked the young man. Every punch was like a dragon's roar, and the force was enough to destroy mountains and split the earth. This was enough to kill a half-saint. Yang Wu didn't hold back at all. The young man from the Xing family was in pain from Yang Wu's punch. He realized that the young man in front of him wasn't an illegitimate child, but someone with ulterior motives. The young man from the Xing family had reached the advanced dragon transformation realm, and he had the ability to fight above his level. After he came to his senses, he didn't retreat. Instead, he angrily fought back. He shouted, "You're not a member of the Xing family. Where did you come from, spy?" The young man from the Xing family was called Xing Bifeng, and he was Xing Baiyan's brother. He was quite talented and much stronger than Xing Baiyan and Xing Biao. He had a chance to compete for the position of the young master of the Xing family. Xing Bifeng counterattacked. He was very strong, and in this fiery domain, he could control more of the Xing Hua's power. He was like a fire god, and he continuously sent out palm prints to block Yang Wu's attacks. Bang! Bang! Xing Bifeng was injured, and it wasn't a problem for him to deal with a half-saint. But now he was being beaten by Yang Wu, and his blood was boiling. He kept retreating, and his arms were numb. He exclaimed in his heart, "So strong." He clearly felt that Yang Wu was still in the heavenly fish realm and had not reached the dragon transformation realm. But Yang Wu's explosive combat power was stronger than his. It was hard to believe. Yang Wu was so eager to win that he didn't give Xing Bifeng a chance to catch his breath. His domineering fist energy ignored Xing Bifeng's Xing Hua and smashed his dragon armor, causing him to vomit blood. The protective Saint Talisman would only be activated when Xing Bifeng's life was in danger. Under normal circumstances, it would not be activated, and there was a limit to how many times it could be used. As long as Yang Wu could kill Xing Bifeng multiple times, he would definitely be able to kill him. "You want to kill me? No way." Xing Bifeng was the peerless genius of the Xing family. He wouldn't be defeated so easily. He roared and activated the power of his battle tattoos. Flames circled around his body. He controlled the fire power from all directions and slapped wildly at Yang Wu. The power of each slap was close to that of a half-saint. Pang! Pang! Xing Bifeng and Yang Wu fought fiercely. Their fists and palms were intertwined like fire dragons. The destructive power was shocking. Xing Bifeng still couldn't force Yang Wu to retreat. Instead, his arms were bleeding from Yang Wu's attacks. He was in so much pain that he had to use the Xing family saint skill to save his face. "I don't care who you are. I will cut you into pieces." Burning Sky Palm. A saint skill could only be used when one reached the Starmark realm. Xing Bifeng had the combat power of a half-saint, so he could barely use half of the saint skill's power. Countless Xing Hua gathered and formed a shocking black flame palm. It carried the power of burning the sky and slapped toward Yang Wu. Advanced battle skills could greatly increase one's combat power, and saint skills were even more extraordinary. They could increase one's combat power by at least 10 times. The terrifying palm power covered a few miles, and those who were cultivating nearby were shocked. Although each floor was large, the battle caused a lot of noise, so the others couldn't cultivate in peace. However, these people only thought that a monster from their family was fighting with a spirit demon on this floor. They didn't want to come and watch the battle. Instead, they stayed farther away and chose a quieter place to cultivate. Yang Wu didn't cultivate Saint skills, but he had moves that were similar to Saint skills. He used martial god's fist with all his strength. Brutal tyrant fist. His domineering aura was fully displayed, and his surging fist strength carried the Jinwu boxing. Like the reversal of the sun and the moon, or the descent of the black tortoise, it was domineering. The terrifying fist strength met the opponent's fire palm. The power of the fist and palm collided, and there was a terrifying explosion. The two different powers rippled in all directions. The power of the fist and palm hadn't completely disappeared, and the new power of the fist and palm collided again. In a few blinks of an eye, dozens of fists and palms collided continuously. The destructive power was extremely terrifying. Yang Wu had been successfully refined by the Purple Cloud Thunder in the Purple Cloud Thunder region. The power in his Dantian had reached the peak of the heavenly fish realm. His combat power was much stronger than before. Unfortunately, this was someone else's territory. The Xing fire with the power of devouring was endless. Even Lan Xiaoji couldn't devour it completely. He fought with Xing Bifeng with all his strength, but he couldn't gain the upper hand. Xing Bifeng was even more surprised than him. His realm was much higher than the young man in front of him, but he couldn't suppress him even with all his strength. He wondered if he was dreaming. After a long battle, Yang Wu became anxious. He came to find the Xian essence Qi, not to cause trouble. If he couldn't end this quickly, his whereabouts would be completely exposed, and it would be difficult for him to get the Xian essence Qi. Wind God's Kick. Yang Wu sped up and became a shadow. He fought speed with speed, hoping to beat Xing Bifeng as soon as possible. When Xing Bifeng used all his power, his speed wasn't any slower than Yang Wu's. He also used the fire region field. No matter how fast Yang Wu was, as long as he touched the fire region field, Xing Bifeng could easily fight back. Yang Wu had no choice. He chose to retreat. This place wasn't small, and he could hide or go around. He wanted to get the Xian essence Qi first. Once he reached the dragon transformation realm, he could kill this person like a chicken. It's too late to run now. Xing Bifeng sensed Yang Wu's intention. He roared, and a fire sword appeared in his hand. With the fire region field, he attacked Yang Wu. Execution ground sword C. Xing Bifeng didn't have a powerful gift, but his perception was one of the best in the Xing family. He had stepped into the will of the sword, and countless sword shadows combined with the fire region field to form a terrifying god art. It wasn't any weaker than the will of the stars. Yang Wu was surrounded by the sword C. Each sword shadow was like a sword from the execution ground, ready to take a life. The sharp will of the sword put Yang Wu in great danger. He didn't even think about it. He pulled out the phoenix sword and sent out millions of sword lights. The sword lights were like meteors chasing after the moon, and they blocked all the incoming swords. Yang would try to fight back, but he couldn't stop Xing Bifeng's attacks. Many sword lights came at him, and Xing Bifeng thought Yang Wu was going to die. But Yang Wu released the black tortoise armor. A powerful deflecting force was generated, and Xing Bifeng's attacks were scattered. He couldn't hurt Yang Wu at all. What kind of defense is this? Xing Bifeng was shocked. Yang Wu had an idea. He operated his defense at full speed and rushed at Xing Bifeng. Die! Xing Bifeng saw that Yang Wu wasn't running anymore, and he took the initiative to attack him. He waved his fire sword at Yang Wu with all his might. His will of the sword condensed into a long sword light, and its attack power was enough to kill a half-saint. Yang Wu didn't fight back, and he let the attack come. Clang! 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 When the sword lights fell on his black tortoise armor, it was as if they hit an iron wall. Clang! Sparks flew, and the power of the sword lights was completely deflected by the black tortoise armor. Yang Wu's training in the battle mound was finally showing his amazing power. He was only 15 meters away from Bifeng Xing. The mysterious phoenix sword in his hand fell to the ground. The tip of the sword drew a long sword mark on the ground. His sharp eyes stared at Bifeng Xing, exerting great pressure on him. Retreat. Xing Bifeng retreated without thinking. He didn't want to give Yang Wu a chance to get close. Advance when the enemy retreats. Yang Wu's wind god's kick was pushed to the extreme. His mysterious phoenix sword drew sparks, and the sword will seed in his divine court Dao flower flourished. When he was 10 meters away from Xing Bifeng, he raised his sword. Whoosh! A beam of sword light containing sword intent pierced through eternity, streaking across the long river of stars, shattering swaying stars one after another. The power of such a terrifying sword strike was in no way inferior to any holy sword technique. Xing Huofeng was already in a defensive state. He shouted, and the sword light retracted. The fire domain aura condensed and formed a fire sword shield to block Yang Wu's strike. He recognized that Yang Wu was using the mysterious phoenix sword of the Xing family. He exclaimed in his heart, "Is he the Yang Wu that Bian mentioned?" The mysterious phoenix sword was a top lesser saint sword that the Xing family had lost many years ago. Even if it wasn't a saint sword, it was still qualified to be a saint sword. Xing Bian found the mysterious phoenix sword in the City of Redemption. Unfortunately, it was taken by the young man from the Yang family. He couldn't take it back. This news had already spread in the Xing family. Moreover, what Yang Wu had done in the War God City had also spread to the Xing family. The Yang family had a genius, Yang Wu, and he must be killed. When he thought of the black tortoise armor released by Yang Wu, he was absolutely sure that the young man in front of him was the young man from the Yang family, Yang Wu. Unfortunately, he realized it a little too late. Yang Wu's strike broke through his sword shield, and the tip of the sword pierced into his chest. Blood splattered out. Whoosh! The protective sacred rune's power acted again and deflected Yang Wu's fatal strike. "You're Yang Wu from the Yang family." Xing Bifeng roared, clutching his chest. At this moment, he was ready to use the imperial decree. He must let the Xing family know of Yang Wu's existence. This young man must be killed. You know it too late. Yang Wu shouted and finally released his soul eye. The demonic third eye flashed in the fire domain dojo. Soul eye extermination. An invisible soul power broke through all obstacles and rushed into Xing Bifeng's divine court. The soul power was like a knife that cut into Xing Bifeng's soul. No! Chapter 847. Xing Bifeng's body and soul were destroyed. Xing Bifeng was an incredible genius of the Xing family, but he was killed by Yang Wu in the dojo of the Xing family's fire field. No one expected this. Yang Wu did not adjust his breath. He used the punishing fire to burn Xing Bifeng's body and took his interspatial ring and the fire sword that looked like the mysterious phoenix sword. Then he quickly left. Yang Wu hid his aura and rushed to the fire essence stone mine of the Xing family. When he was close to the lode, he sensed a lot of life auras ahead. His face darkened and he muttered in his heart, "The mysterious essence chi is over there. There's so many people there. How can I break through?" Yang Wu was not arrogant enough to ignore the Xing family and kill his way in. Xing Bifeng had almost exposed his whereabouts, so he had to be more careful this time. Yang Wu quickly observed the situation. It did not seem to be as bad as he thought. Although there were many lives there, the guards were not strict. Perhaps he could sneak in when they let their guard down. Not far away, the semi-sage expert who was overseeing this place sensed something and looked in Yang Wu's direction. His old eyes were suffused with a trace of doubt. He stood up to investigate. Suddenly, the fire cocoon caused a strange phenomenon in the world. Countless punishing flames surged towards the fire cocoon. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying flame erupted from the fire essence stone lode. Then, a fire dragon rushed out from the ground. Roar! Roar! The terrifying fire power came out of nowhere. It was at the saint level. In an instant, dozens of Xing family sinners were burned to death. Run! The sacred fire is erupting. We can't stop it. Is this really punishing fire? Why can't I refine it? The fire essence stone mine is on fire. It seems like a fire dragon is rushing out. Damn it, it's too fast. We need a saint to suppress it. Let's escape first. The fire essence stone mine was in complete chaos. Holy fire suddenly burst out from ground. This was the power of the fire seed that only existed on the 5th level. These little saints could not block it at all. Wherever the fire dragon went, they were quickly burned to ashes. Only a few people were lucky enough to escape. What's going on? The half-step saint of the Xing clan was shocked. He couldn't care less about anything else. He quickly rushed toward the entrance of the fire essence stone mine. Before he could get close, a fire dragon rushed out of the mine. It was a good fire dragon baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It was not a real fire dragon, but it was better than a real fire dragon. It was born with a majestic aura, and its black flaming body was thousands of feet long. It widened its eyes and stared at the fire cocoon. The half-saint's old eyes twitched wildly as he cried out involuntarily, "This fellow is going after young miss?" He didn't dare to hesitate. He raised his fire palm and slammed it towards the fire dragon. A shocking palm energy covered the sky above the fire dragon, wanting to disperse the fire dragon. Before the power of his fire palm landed, the fire dragon opened its mouth and swallowed the flames of the fire palm. The power of the fire palm quickly shrank and was no longer a threat to the fire dragon. The fire dragon seemed to have intelligence. It opened its mouth and spat out a shocking flame at the half-step saint. This was the power of the true holy fire. The half-step saint didn't dare to block it. He dodged in a sorry state, afraid that he would be touched by the flame. The fire dragon's final target was not the half-step saint. Its long body circled in the air before it swooped down towards the fire cocoon. It opened its mouth and swallowed the fire cocoon. The half-step saint was scared out of his wits. He couldn't let anything happen to young Mississippi. He rushed over without hesitation and clawed at the fire dragon with all his strength. The ferocious claw energy swept towards the fire dragon. It grabbed the fire dragon's back and tore it into pieces. The fire dragon wasn't a real body. It was just a power condensed from the flames. The half-step saint's power tore the fire dragon's body apart. It could still quickly reform. There was no way to cause any harm to it. The fire dragon wasn't a pushover. It angrily swung its tail towards the semi-sage. The semi-sage was scared out of his wits. He immediately took out a seal and attacked the semi-sage. The semi-sage was very scared. He immediately took out a seal and attacked the flames. Black Flame Seal. This was one of the half-step saint's life-saving trump cards. It was a damaged seal. It turned into a black flame wall and blocked the fire dragon's tail. It barely blocked the fire dragon's attack. The half-step saint screamed, "Young miss, leave here quickly." In the next moment, he tore apart an imperial edict and sent it towards the fire dragon. The imperial edict was very powerful. It turned into a shocking holy power and wrapped around the fire dragon. It bound the fire dragon and prevented it from devouring the fire cocoon. After the half-step saint saw the imperial edict's power, he rushed towards the fire cocoon. He formed a seal with both hands and shrouded the fire cocoon. He wanted to take the fire cocoon away by force. He felt that the person in the fire cocoon was breaking through. It was a critical moment and shouldn't be disturbed. However, the fire dragon was too terrifying. Once it swept over, the young miss would die. The fire dragon was very powerful. The imperial edict's power was limited. The holy power of the imperial edict couldn't bind the fire dragon for too long. It was burned to ashes by the fire dragon's monstrous holy fire. Before the half-step saint could take the young miss away, the fire dragon swept over again. This time, it rushed over at an astonishing speed. "Young miss, wake up!" The half-step saint roared and forcefully sent the fire cocoon far away with an earth-shattering force. He faced the fire dragon alone. Both of his palms struck out with the strongest power. He looked like he was going to fight the fire dragon to the end. The fire dragon was scattered by his power, but the fire power wasn't destroyed. It rushed towards the half-step saint. The half-step saint showed a solemn expression and murmured, "Young miss, remember to engrave my name on the clan monument." The half-step saint threw caution to the wind. He used the punishment flame technique and crazily absorbed the fire dragon's firepower. If he could absorb and refine the fire dragon's power, he might be able to break through to the Star Rune realm. If he couldn't refine it, he would die. The demi-saint absorbed the surrounding firepower with all his might. The fire of the fire dragon was absorbed into his body. He quickly felt that the fire power contained a different kind of power. The power of his punishing fire was increasing. He stared at the center of the fire dragon's eyebrows. There seemed to be a strange power seed there. It seemed to be the power of the origin kindling. Could it be it's the origin of punishment flame? The half-step saint endured the pain of being burned and exclaimed. Ordinary punishment flame absolutely couldn't injure him easily, but the fire dragon's fire had reached the level of sacred fire. His body was rapidly incinerated, causing him to scream in pain. Refine it for me. I must defeat you. I must achieve the body of saint. I am immortal and indestructible. Refine my sacred body. The half-step saint displayed a tenacious will. He forced himself to endure the pain of death and continued to use the profound technique frantically, hoping to adapt to the sacred fire. His perseverance wasn't in vain. The power in his dantian was crazily increasing. There were faint signs of breaking through to the star rune realm. Unfortunately, the sacred fire was too strong. His body had been burned until only his skeleton was left. His head was also about to be burned to ashes. He had stayed in the fire domain for many years. His body was already resistant to fire. Ordinary flames couldn't hurt him. However, the sacred fire in front of him was too powerful. His body couldn't withstand it. He revealed a crazed expression and struggled. He shouted, "The day I see the divine path is the day I die. Why is the heavens so unfair?" The half-step saint roared. Just as his body was about to turn into ashes, he struck the fire dragon's glabella with his strongest attack. Sacred might strike. The half-step saint touched the opportunity to become a saint. He mobilized the power of the star runes in the sky. The majestic sacred might fiercely struck the fire dragon's glabella. It heavily slapped the origin fire seed's power toward the fire cocoon. "Young miss, remember to engrave my name on the clan tablet." The half-step saint didn't have a chance to live. He used the power of his final attack to disperse the origin fire seed's power and help the girl in the fire cocoon. As long as the girl obtained the origin fire seed, she would be able to quickly break through and become the most dazzling genius of the Xing clan. Even if he died, it would be worth it. However, just as the power was about to reach the fire cocoon, a figure quickly swept over and intercepted the power. Bastard! The half-step saint died with his eyes wide open. His body turned into ashes and disappeared in the fire domain. The fire cocoon's power quickly shrank. Countless fire seeds' power merged with the girl's body. The girl's figure was exposed. A slender and beautiful figure appeared. The majestic power of the celestial fish realm swept out. The strange phenomenon of 10,000 flames worshipping appeared again. "You can't escape." The girl looked at the fleeing figure not far away and shouted. She pointed her finger in that direction, and the flames in that direction quickly rose, forming a terrifying wall of fire, blocking the escaping figure. The fleeing person didn't care so much. He didn't care about the flames and forced his way in. Just when he thought he could safely pass through, he was shocked to find that the power in his hand was quickly condensing the flames here. A fire dragon appeared again. "Damn it!" The young man cursed. He forcefully pressed down on the fire dragon. A blue-black tortoise roared and swallowed all the flames around him. He didn't give the power a chance to condense again. Unfortunately, the power was very strange. Not only did it want to steal the flames around it, but it also wanted to steal the power of the blue-black tortoise. It wanted to take the blue beauty for itself. The power of the holy fire was released. The burning pain forced the young man to let go. The blue-black tortoise was also devoured by the fire dragon. The fire dragon bit toward the young man's heart. The young man couldn't stop it at all. The fire dragon drilled into his heart. The terrifying power of the holy fire engulfed his heart. Once his heart was devoured by the fire dragon, he would definitely die. Supreme 9 Mysteries formula, refined for me. The youth roared in pain as his heart burned. He frantically circulated the profound art in an attempt to completely refine this fire dragon. Chapter 848. Corrosive Flame, Mystical Essence Energy. It was a type of mystical essence energy that could corrode a fire seed. It was like a corroding dragon that existed in the Xing family's fire field dojo. The Regal Nine Mysteries formula required mystical essence energy to level up, and the mystical essence energy that was drilling into Yang Wu's heart was none other than the mystical essence energy. The mystical essence energy was formed from the fire mystical essence energy of heaven and earth. Its firepower was so terrifying that even a half-saint would be burned to ashes in an instant. Yang Wu had a half-saint physique, but it was difficult for him to resist the burning of the corrosive flame. Fortunately, he had blue demoness. It had the innate talent of heart fire and was the root of an immortal fire seed. It had reached the level of a little saint fire seed and was just one step away from becoming a saint fire seed. Blue demoness had gained intelligence and was resisting the corrosive flame. Not only did it protect its heart, it was also resisting the burning of the corrosive flame. It was also thinking of ways to counterattack the corrosive flame, which could help it become a saint fire seed. When Yang Wu activated the highest 9 mysteries formula, the surging, eroding fire profound essence Qi was devoured by the highest 9 mysteries formula. Strands of eroding fire profound essence Qi converged into his meridians, following the extreme circulation of the highest 9 mysteries formula. The ferocious flame blended into his meridians, and his meridians were burned to the point of incomparable pain. Fortunately, the highest 9 mysteries formula had the ability to restrain the profound essence Qi and did not let the eroding fire profound essence Qi burn off his meridians. It firmly suppressed the eroding fire profound essence Qi and did not harm Yang Wu's meridians and organs. Even so, the pain of being burned was enough to make one go crazy. If one's willpower could not withstand it, it was possible for one to die from the pain. Other than that, the biggest hidden danger was his heart. A large amount of corrosive flame energy was concentrated there. If blue demoness could not withstand it, its heart would be burned. Even an immortal would not be able to save him. When a young girl saw that the youth who took away the mystical essence energy had turned into a flaming man, she was not in a hurry to attack again. Instead, she murmured with a cold expression, "Serves you right." The young girl believed that the youth in front of her would definitely die, so there was no need for her to attack again. It would not be too late for her to take the fire seed after the youth was burned to death. She had already sensed that this place contained a unique fire seed that was greatly beneficial to her. That was why she chose to break through here and take the opportunity to attract a dense fire seed to increase her strength. She didn't think that she would attract the fire dragon and cause such a big commotion. She didn't feel guilty at all. Instead, she was excited. In her eyes, the power of the fire seed existed for her. No one could take it away from her. The flaming man didn't roll around on the spot. He only cried out in pain for a while, then actually ran out of the fire domain. Instantly, the young girl felt like she was in the wind. This was the seed of a sacred flame. It could even burn a half-step saint to death. Yet, the other party was still able to flee. This was beyond her expectations. "Stop, that's my fire seed." A fire flame was her fire. She was fire of her, of her, of fire of her, of the fire. Of her, that of her of fire. The girl was very powerful, and her control of fire had reached the point of perfection. In an instant, 49 fire pillars appeared, blocking all the paths of the fiery man, and condensing into a fire array to suppress and seal the fiery man. Who would have thought that her strong firepower would not only fail to hurt the flaming man, but also be absorbed by the flaming man? The flaming man quickly broke through as if he had entered an uninhabited area. The young girl showed a sullen look. She quickly chased after the flaming man. She kept forming seals with her palms and slapped the flaming man. She had broken through to the heavenly fish realm. Her combat power was comparable to that of a top heavenly fish realm expert. She was a top monster. Unfortunately, this power was still not enough to hurt the flaming man. Her firepower became nourishment for the flaming man and was completely absorbed. Seeing that the flaming man was running further and further away, a short dagger appeared in the young girl's hand. The short dagger emitted a sharp light. It was extremely sharp and could cut iron as if it were mud. It flew out and stabbed toward the flaming man's head. If he was stabbed by it, his head would be pierced. The flaming man seemed to have grown eyes after being angry. He changed his direction and dodged the assassination of the holy dagger. The holy dagger was the young girl's life-bonded holy weapon. Under her control, it continued to chase after the flaming man. Yang Wu's body was covered with two kinds of flames. One was blue and the other was black. They kept intertwining. It was as if the black tortoise and the fire dragon were fighting. For the time being, the fire dragon had the upper hand. The black tortoise was at a disadvantage. Fortunately, the supreme Nine Mysteries mantra could divide the fire dragon's power. Not only had the black tortoise been swallowed up long ago, the black tortoise was also extraordinary. It had not stepped into the ranks of the holy flames, but it had the characteristics of the holy flames. It was not easy for the holy flames to swallow it. It used the Xin Qi and blood Qi provided by Yang Wu to grow stronger and fight against the fire dragon. Yang Wu did not care about the fight between them. He only needed to take care of his own safety. The young girl chasing after him would not let him leave so easily. The young girl realized that the man was refining the fire seed. If he succeeded, she would miss the opportunity to obtain the fire seed. This was not something she wanted to see. "There's a spy." The young girl channeled her energy into her dantian and shouted. There was a power restriction in the fire domain training hall. It was not easy for the sound waves to spread, but the young girl's voice could be heard through the power of the fire. It was as if countless flames were shouting for her. All the disciples of the Xing family on the 4th floor heard her. "There's a spy in the fire domain. This is bad. Let's hurry over and kill him. How dare he behave so atrociously in the Xing family's training hall? Let's capture him and find out who he is. We'll make him beg for death. Over there. I think it's Miss Jiasen's voice. Let's hurry over. We can't let anything happen to Miss Jiasen. Kill the spy." The disciples of the Xing family on the 4th floor rushed over from all directions. Those who were able to train on this floor were all in the dragon transformation realm. They were all extraordinary. There were young talents, and there were also people from the older generation who had been famous for a long time. "Where's the spy? Xing Gang will kill him." A tall and strong young man rushed over with steady steps and shouted. The young man had a pair of giant swords on his back. His eyes were like fire as he locked onto the running man on fire. He was trying to determine if the spy was this strange fellow in front of him. "It's that guy on fire. Kill him." Xing Jiasen pointed at the man on fire and said, "All right, I'll kill him in one move." Xing Gang said confidently. His two swords flew out from his back and slashed out in a crisscross pattern. The crisscrossed sword light flew towards the man on fire. Xing Gang was in the dragon transformation realm. He was strong enough to fight against a high-level dragon transformation realm warrior. He was confident that he could kill his opponent in one move. Who knew that the man on fire was so slippery? When the attack was about to reach him, he dodged. The power of the two swords slashed at the holy dagger that was chasing after him, forcing the holy dagger to stop. "Kill!" Xing Gang shouted angrily. He bounced up into the air and slashed his two swords at the man on fire again. The sword light that was filled with fire arrived in front of the man on fire in the blink of an eye. This time, the man on fire did not run away. He chose to meet the attack head-on. A fire fist was thrown out. The power of the fist was as strong as the sky. It was extremely domineering. The sword light was shattered and the fire fist continued forward. It landed heavily on Xing Gang, who could not dodge in time. Xing Gang's body was sent flying. His body was covered in flames, and he quickly became a man on fire. Yang Wu could withstand the holy fire, but did not mean that Xing Gang could do the same. The young girl came from behind and threw out two imperial edicts. She shouted, "Kill!" These two imperial edicts were filled with strong killing intent. They had a very strong killing power. They flew towards a man on fire, ruthlessly. The burning man had nowhere to run. He could only brace himself and activate his defensive power. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was pushed to the limit by him. The extreme circulation method quickly disintegrated the power of the corrosive fire mystical essence Qi. His strength was rapidly increasing, and so was his defensive power. He reversed the power of the deflecting force and blocked the two falling saint powers. Boom! Boom! The power of the imperial edicts was too overwhelming. It was like a thunderclap. Yang Wu was smashed into the ground. His defensive power could only dissipate half of the power. A small part of the power pressed down on his body, causing him to vomit blood. In the next moment, Yang Wu also tore the power of the imperial edicts. He wanted to use the power of the imperial edicts to escape. Unfortunately, when he tore the imperial edicts, the power of the imperial edicts could not be used. He immediately understood what was going on. He exclaimed in his heart, "Damn it! How can the Qing family's training grounds allow other families' imperial edicts to behave so atrociously here?" Yang Wu was out of options. He could not use the imperial edicts. He could only rely on himself to fight his way out. At this moment, the fire dragon on his body seemed to be threatened by the imperial edicts. It actually diverted a part of its power to block the imperial edicts. Streaks of flame energy shot up into the sky and blocked the imperial edict's power. The fire mystical energy had already gained intelligence. No matter what kind of threat it was facing, it would instinctively resist. The fire dragon absorbed a large amount of flames and formed another fire dragon. It frantically blocked the imperial edict's attack. Yang Wu also took this opportunity to absorb the fire mystical energy. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was absorbing the fire mystical energy around it faster and faster. Blue Demonis was boosted, and its power exploded. It started to devour the fire dragon's power. The fire dragon had to block the imperial edict's power and Blue Demonis devouring power. Even if it was a sacred fire, it could not handle it. If it was not for the fact that this was the training grounds of the fire region, it would not have been able to withstand it. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula's absorption speed doubled. 10 times, 100 times, 500 times. A sea of fire mystical energy crazily gathered. With Yang Wu as the center, it formed a sea of fire. This sea of fire also contained the power of the sacred fire. It forced the girl to retreat. The imperial edict's power was completely burned away. The Qing family members who had rushed over could not get close. The fire was too strong. Once the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula absorbed the fire mystical energy, its level would increase. Yang Wu could then forcefully break through to the dragon transformation realm. After all, he had already reached the pinnacle of the heavenly fish realm. Other than that, his physical body could also become a sacred body. He was being burned and refined by the fire dragon. It was unknown if he could make it through. Chapter 849. On the 4th floor of the Qing family's fire field training hall. This was a place where small saints stayed. Qing's power was only at the level of a small saint flame. Otherwise, the Qing family members here would be burned to ashes. Suddenly, there was a sea of fire that was close to the level of a saint flame. It covered an area of a few miles, and no one could get close. The members of the Qing family surrounded the flames, their expressions uncertain. "Miss Jessen, who is he?" An old man asked the girl who was surrounded by fire. "I don't know who he is either," the girl replied calmly. "Could he be a member of the Qing family?" the old man asked again. Only the Qing family could enter this place. Outsiders couldn't barge in, which was why the old man asked this question. After all, over the years, the members of the Qing family had had different opportunities in the Firefield Dojo. At the same time, there were also some murderous activities. Most of the time, the members of the Qing family turned a blind eye and did not care too much. Only the true pearls would remain after the great waves washed away the sand. The girl glared at the old man and said, "You don't believe me?" The old man said fearfully, "I wouldn't dare. No matter who it is, I'll kill whoever stole my opportunity." The girl said with a murderous aura. The sea of fire continued to spread, and the firepower continued to surge. There was no sign of stopping at all. A young man was in the middle of the raging fire. He was being burned to the point of death. At first, he was still wailing like a ghost, but he gradually calmed down. He didn't care about the terrifying flames at all. A large amount of fire Xian Qi continued to gather on his body, and most of it entered his heart, boosting the power of the heart fire. A small part of it entered his dantian, and after being filtered by his dantian, it became pure energy, strengthening the power of his earth sea. The regal nine mysteries arts gradually absorbed the corrosive fire, xian-qi. Its level was increasing, and its ability to absorb the xian-qi of heaven and earth became even more terrifying. His body was like a bottomless pit. He absorbed a huge amount of xian-qi of heaven and earth, but he still couldn't be satisfied. The heavenly fish in Yang Wu's dantian had already turned into a dragonfish. It was like an emperor among dragonfish. It had long whiskers, thick scales, and a lively gaze. It swallowed the energy in the earth's sea with ease. From time to time, it would even flip in the sea. Suddenly, the moon above the sea became brighter and brighter. It was like a door of moonlight, with wisps of mysterious holy light emanating from it. The extremely powerful dragonfish charged toward it. The dragonfish swung its tail on the surface of the sea, and its body leaped high into the air, rushing toward the door of moonlight. The fish leaped over the dragon gate. This was the sign of the heavenly fish realm entering the dragon transformation realm. After the dragonfish passed through the door of moonlight, the dragonfish seemed to have been cleansed by a mysterious power. Its body became more and more slender, and it took the shape of a snake. The dragonfish, on the other hand, turned into a dragon. Dragon roars rang out, and the meridians all over its body surged endlessly like rivers. Every acupoint turned into twinkling stars, and its limbs, bones, and internal organs all exuded an inexplicable brilliance. There was a treasure light lingering around its body, and a dragon aura soared into the sky, condensing into the shadow of a true dragon that was thousands of feet long. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 200 meters long, it proved that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 300 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. If a warrior could condense a dragon shadow that was 400 meters long, it meant that he had a solid foundation and had a lot of room for improvement. Outside the sea of fire, the people from the Xing family could vaguely see the shadow of a dragon roaring. The terrifying aura was like the descent of a real dragon, causing them to turn pale and suffocate. They stared at the shadow of the dragon in shock. The sea of fire had the power of a sacred fire. Even a half-saint would be burned to ashes here. Not only did the person inside not die, he seemed to have taken the opportunity to break through. The more they thought about it, the more they felt that the person inside was from the Xing family. Perhaps he had stolen Xing Jiasen's opportunity, which made her angry out of humiliation. Xing Jiasen's expression grew uglier. She shouted, "Get into formation and isolate the fire here. Force the spy out." "Miss, this is not appropriate." Someone from the Xing family tried to stop her. Someone else said, "Let's wait and see. Perhaps a disciple of the Xing family accidentally offended you. We can't kill the innocent." A few people from the Xing family spoke up one after another. They all agreed that the person inside the sea of fire was from the Xing family. After all, who else could refine Punisher fire other than the Xing family? There was a reason why Punisher fire was unique to the Xing family. Punisher fire had the ability to devour. Even a saint wouldn't be able to refine it easily. Instead, its devouring power would devour Xian-qi, which would affect his cultivation and life force. The disciples of the Xing family cultivated the Punisher Fire arcane technique. They could follow a special circulation method and fuse their bloodline power to refine Punisher Fire into their bodies and increase their combat power. Based on this, the person inside the Sea of Fire must have the bloodline of the Xing family. Even if he wasn't a direct descendant, he could be from a side branch. No matter what, as long as he was a disciple of the Xing family, he should be protected since he had obtained great benefits and increased his strength. Xing Jiasin was furious. No matter how mature she was still a young girl and couldn't completely intimidate the people here. She said coldly, "He's the spy. If you won't do it, I'll do it." In the next moment, she activated her battle runes. A ball of energy like a black sun appeared. Flames from all directions surged toward this ball of energy. When the people of the Xing family saw this ball of energy, they all bowed slightly. This was a natural Punisher Fire seed, a sacred fire seed. It was an inheritance obtained from the bloodline. This was also why Xing Jiasin had such a high status in the Xing family. Xing Jiasin forced out a drop of essence blood from her fingertip. She shouted, "Punisher Fire Prison." Suddenly, the small black sun on her fingertip became very large. Large amounts of fire power were attracted to it, helping her become a sun that could devour everything. It stole the fire power of the Sea of Fire and suppressed the person who was breaking through the Sea of Fire. This ball of sacred fire was extremely powerful. Even a saint wouldn't be able to escape from it if they were touched. This was Xing Jiasin's new trump card. The black sun fell into the Sea of Fire and fell toward the person inside. Pung! Black sun destroying the world. The black sun's fire power was at the sacred level. As it fell, it had the power to incinerate the world. However, just as the terrifying fire power descended, a dark blue flame suddenly transformed into the appearance of a black tortoise. It opened its mouth wide and received the power of the black sun. It swallowed it into its stomach and then disappeared without a trace. Puff! The girl who created the black fire spat out a mouthful of blood. Her aura quickly withered. "Miss!" The people of the Xing family couldn't help but exclaim. Xing Jiasin ignored them. She stared at the shrinking sea of fire. She realized that the other party must have refined the power of her fire seed. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to resist her sacred fire. The power of the Sea of Fire all gathered toward the center. The figure in the center emitted crackling sounds. It was like dry wood being burned by fire. It was extremely crisp. The young man's body was undergoing tremendous changes. All the impurities in his body had been purified by the sacred fire. His innate body was extraordinary. His skin, flesh, meridians, and internal organs were all brimming with boundless vitality. His crystalline body possessed incomparably tough and powerful strength. His heart's fire became sacred. His body became sacred. In the purple cloud thunder region, Yang Wu's bones had been tempered into the heavenly thunder bone. It could also be called a true sacred bone. At that time, his body had been tempered to the peak of the half-saint level. There was no way for him to go any further. Now that he had obtained the fourth type of profound essence chi, he broke through to the dragon transformation realm. The potential of his body had reached a new level. His body became sacred. Yang Wu only felt that his body was filled with endless power. It was as if he could pick the stars and the moon with a stretch of his hand. He could overturn rivers and seas with a stomp of his feet. His heaven's path flower was thriving. The green sprout in his dantian had grown a lot taller. It had turned into 3 leaves. Each leaf had 3 drops of sparkling dew. The earth sea in his dantian had changed from the size of a lake to a vast ocean. A 9-clawed, true dragon swam in it. It was lively, powerful, and domineering. Its power had reached the extreme. Only when a 9-clawed true dragon reached the peak of the dragon transformation realm could it condense dragon-shaped Xianqi. Yang Wu had just broken through to the dragon transformation realm, but he had already condensed the dragon-shaped Xianqi. It was obvious that his foundation had surpassed many warriors. When the surrounding Xing family members saw the young man with the dragon-shaped Xianqi, they were all shocked. They felt the pressure of a saint from the young man. They had an impulse to bow down and worship him. The young girl, Xing Jiasin, looked at the young man in disbelief. Her sharp intuition told her that the young man had undergone some extraordinary changes. She couldn't explain it immediately. It didn't seem like he had broken through to become a saint, but he had the power of a saint. Could it be because of the sacred fire? Is he a disciple of the Xing family? Does anyone know him? This young man is so scary. Could it be that one of the elders in our family has regained his youth? It feels like he has just broken through to the dragon transformation realm. But why does he make me feel as if I'm facing a saint? He looks familiar. I can't remember who he is. I'm sure he's not a member of the Xing family. The Xing family members surrounded the young man and whispered. They couldn't be sure of the young man's identity. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, "Oh no, this little bastard is Yang Wu of the Yang family." Chapter 850. In the transcendent world, Yang Wu's name wasn't very well known. Even though he had become the #1 heavenly king in the broken space, he still didn't cause much of a stir in the boundless transcendent world. However, in the war race world, Yang Wu's name was already quite famous. He wasn't any less than those peerless geniuses from 100 years ago. He had reached the 12th level of the god of War Pagoda with Xianyuan Huowu. Moreover, with the strength of the heavenly fish realm, he had killed many minor saints and even half-saints. He had become a #1 target of the Xing clan. Many people in the Xing clan hadn't seen Yang Wu before, but they had seen Yang Wu's portrait before. It was just that not many of them could remember who he was. Until one of the young men from the Xing clan who had participated in the God of War Pagoda recognized Yang Wu. The people of the Xing clan went into an uproar. The Xing clan and Yang Wu had been at odds for a long time. With the rise of Yang Wu, he was naturally a thorn in the side of the Xing clan. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. "Little bastard, how did you get into my Xing clan's fire domain? How dare you?" A minor saint from the Xing clan shouted in shock. He raised his palm and slammed it towards Yang Wu. The force of the palm was shocking and the fire was raging. This was an attack from a minor saint. It wasn't something that an ordinary person could withstand. Yang Wu didn't seem to notice that the palm was above his head. In a blink of an eye, the palm had already slammed down towards him. Asterisk bang. Asterisk, the majestic palm landed on the ground, causing the ground to crack rapidly, forming a deep pit. Yang Wu isn't that strong, the minor saint from the Xing clan said disdainfully after his attack succeeded. When the attack disappeared, the young man stood at the same spot without any injuries. He twisted his neck and looked at the minor saint and said, "Are you tickling me?" The people of the Xing clan were stunned. They had heard that Yang Wu was very powerful, but when they saw how young Yang Wu was, they didn't think that he could be that powerful. Now, they finally saw how powerful Yang Wu was. A minor saint's full force attack couldn't hurt him. Even a peak minor saint couldn't do that. "All of you back off. Wait for me to capture this brat." An elder from a Xing clan said faintly. He was a peak minor saint who was only one step away from the half-step saint realm. After he spoke, he turned into a black firebird and pecked at Yang Wu ferociously. Undying fire palm. The peak minor saint didn't show any mercy. He used his full strength as soon as he attacked. His combat strength was almost comparable to a half-step saint. In a flash, he arrived in front of Yang Wu. Like before, Yang Wu did not dodge. Furthermore, he did not activate any defensive power, allowing the attack to land on his body. A muffled explosion rang out as the blazing fire palm exploded. Its power was more than 10 times stronger than the person who had just launched the attack. Everyone could not understand why Yang Wu did not dodge. Could it be that he was too arrogant, or was he unable to react in time? When the power of this attack also disappeared, the tall and straight figure was still standing in the same place. He did not move at all, as if he was not injured at all. "What?" The people of the Xing clan exclaimed in shock. Xing Jiasin immediately ordered, "Kill him with all your might. Call the sacred elder over." Xing Jiasin could feel that Yang Wu was very terrifying. His combat strength was extremely strong. He had to use all his strength to deal with him. He could not afford to underestimate him. "Let's kill him together." The peak minor saint of the Xing clan roared. He took out his combat weapon and attacked Yang Wu with all his might. The other minor saints of the Xing clan also attacked. They did not dare to hold back their strength. Their overwhelming firepower enveloped Yang Wu. The power of the firepower was not inferior to the sea of fire that he had created just now. Yang Wu still did not dodge. He allowed the firepower to land on his body. Looking at the firepower, a hint of madness appeared on his face as he murmured, "Saint Physique, how strong is it? I want to test it out." Asterisk Hong Long. Asterisk when these terrifying attacks landed, a part of the ground caved in. If it wasn't for the support of the Saint force, this place would have been completely wiped out by them. The people from the Xing clan continued to attack. They didn't stop after a single attack. They were determined to kill Yang Wu. After a while, they realized that Yang Wu was not moving. They stopped attacking. A figure slowly walked out of the deep pit. Other than his body being a little messy, he was not injured at all. His tough skin was shining with Saint Qi. It was extraordinary. How is this possible? The people of the Xing clan were shocked. Even a half-saint would be killed by their combined attack. Why was Yang Wu unharmed? Could it be that he had become a saint? "That's enough, it's my turn," Yang Wu faintly said, and his figure disappeared from the spot. Asterisk bang bang. Asterisk several heads were blown up by Yang Wu. They did not even have time to react before they were all killed. This ferocious killing method was too terrifying. Xing Jiasin reacted quickly. She quickly retreated and tore another imperial edict in her hand. She attacked Yang Wu with the power. Yang Wu felt the saint power suppressing him. This time, there was no corrosive fire, mystical essence to block it for him. He looked up at the power and shouted, "If the heavens are my way, I will break the heavens." Yang Wu's aura was like a rainbow. No one could compare to him. A dragon-like fist energy was swung up. The fist energy was tens of thousands of feet long. It raged in the sky and collided with the saint power. Asterisk dong. Asterisk a thunderous explosion rang out, and the force was dispersed. A silhouette was blasted into the ground, but he quickly shot up into the sky again. Fist radiance that could not be captured was thrown out one after another, containing an invincible will that surpassed the limit, and the saint energy was trembling from the impact. The imperial edict can't do anything to him. "Retreat!" Xing Jiasin shouted. The people of the Xing family were frightened. Even if Yang Wu did not have the power of a saint, he still had the combat strength of a half-saint. They could not fight him at all. They quickly ran away without saying anything. However, Yang Wu would not let them go so easily. He broke the imperial edict's power with his fist and kicked at the people of the Xing family. Wind God's Kick. After his physical body became a saint, the power of his Wind God's Kick had increased by more than one level. Waves of kick radiance turned into a storm and attacked the people of the Xing family. They were hit by the power of the leg radiance, and their bodies were torn apart by the storm. Blood splattered everywhere, and no one could stop this powerful killing power. A wave of power swept towards Xing Jiasin, but she had too many imperial edicts with her. With the support of the saint power, she was quickly swept away and fled far away. At the same time, she crushed a jade tube and shouted, "Sacred uncle, come out and kill the spies." However, her jade tube did not seem to have any effect. Her sacred uncle did not appear. How can this be? Xing Jiasin was confused. The jade tube had the blood of a saint. Once it was damaged, the saint would be able to sense it and quickly come to rescue it. But now it was useless. No wonder she was so shocked. She wondered if she had taken a fake jade tube. Xing Jiasin quickly regained her composure. She took out the imperial edict again and dripped her blood into it. She threw it into the sky and shouted, "Sacred uncle, please descend." This time, the imperial edict was activated by her blood. A saint's will descended. A figure appeared in front of her. This figure was very blurry. She could not see his face clearly. "Sacred uncle, why is the jade tube you gave me useless? There are powerful spies in the fire domain. We need help," Xing Jiasin said anxiously. The figure sensed the situation around him. He replied faintly, "This area is temporarily sealed. It seems that someone wants to harm the Xing family." With that, He formed a seal with both hands and struck a palm toward the sky. The surrounding fire, Xian-Qi, was attracted by him. It formed an extremely powerful force and hit the sky. However, his palm force seemed to have landed on cotton, unable to create any movement at all. Who is going against the Xing family? The saints will shouted in shock. The terrifying saint's aura shocked the disciples of the Xing family in the fire domain. They did not know what was going on. On the fourth floor, Yang Wu had already rushed out. After his body became a saint, he did not forget himself. He wanted to leave first. Once the saint of the Xing family realized what was going on, he would not be able to escape. Yang Wu's speed was very fast. It was beyond the imagination of a small saint. Even a half-saint could not compare to him. His speed was between that of a saint and a half-saint. 7 days should be almost over. If I can't escape, Master will really leave me in the lurch. Yang Wu was very clear about his master's cold-bloodedness. He had to leave this place as soon as possible. When he reached the second floor, a ray of saint's power struck towards him. The saint's aura came quickly. Even a half-saint might not be able to react in time. However, Yang Wu sensed it. He twisted his body and dodged the shocking palm. A figure walked over in the air. A saint's voice sounded. "Who are you? How dare you behave so atrociously in the territory of the Xing family?" The saints will kept attacking. Many earth-shattering palms came towards Yang Wu. He did not give Yang Wu a chance to dodge. This was not a saint, but this power was not something a half-saint could block. Yang Wu had nowhere to hide. He shouted, "You are just a mere will. Where did you get the guts to howl like a ghost?" Yang Wu took a step forward. The power in his body erupted like a flood. The Xian-Qi in his dantian surged. He punched out with the martial god's fist. It carried an ultimate invincible will. He wanted to destroy the entire world. Zhenwu Fist Dao. At this moment, Yang Wu could finally show how extraordinary his Fist Dao was. The Zhenwu Fist Dao reversed the sun and the moon, crushed the stars. Its power was shocking to the extreme. Yang Wu's fist energy had a few more strands of Saint's aura. It was so powerful that it made people's hair stand on end. Rumble, rumble. The Saint's will power was blocked by Yang Wu. Yang Wu's battle intent soared. He took a few steps forward and threw out punch after punch. Even a saint would be shocked by his fearless strength. "You are just a small saint. I can't let you live. You have to be able to stay." Chapter 851. The power of an imperial edict was 1/10 of a saint's power. It was the protection that many saints gave to their important juniors. Even a half-saint would find it hard to resist such power. Once one reached the Astralmark realm, there would be earth-shattering changes. Even a wisp of a saint's aura would be extremely powerful. Yang Wu had just broken through to the dragon transformation realm, but he already had the power to fight against a saint's will. This was unimaginable. Yang Wu had obtained the corrosive fire mystic essence, and the heart flame blue enchantress had become a saint fire. It gave Yang Wu's bloodline power feedback, tempering his body and burning away all impurities. He had transformed into a saint body. Even without the baptism of the astral mark, he still had extraordinary battle power. With his saint body and the power of his fists, he became even more powerful. He punched out again and again, and the second level of the fire domain trembled incessantly, accompanied by a shocking phenomenon. Fortunately, the disciples of the Xing family had all been cleared out, and there was still a seal on their power. Otherwise, the fiery field would have been greatly damaged. At this moment, Yang Wu was like a newly matured dragon. He was so domineering that the firepower from all directions was attracted to him. Each wave of power was stronger than the last. He fought back against the saints while without any intention of backing down. Xing Jiesin, who hadn't left yet, widened her eyes at this scene. She cried out, "His body has become a saint." Becoming a saint with one's body was an extremely difficult path. Many warriors wanted to open up this path before becoming a saint, but they couldn't. They had to go through painful tempering again and again. Only after breaking through their limits would they have the chance to transform. Otherwise, not only would they fail to temper their body, but they would also be left with hidden injuries. That wouldn't be worth it. The imperial edict could only last for a limited time. It was actually destroyed by Yang Wu. Before the saints will disappeared, it detonated its last bit of willpower. He roared, "No matter who sealed my Xing family's field, they must pay the price." The explosion of the saints will cause a huge commotion. Yang Wu was sent flying by the explosion. If it wasn't for the black tortoise armor, he would have been injured by the explosion. After all, this was the dojo of the Xing family. The Xing family sage could sense the explosion of the Xing family sage's will. The saint of the Xing family, who was guarding the area, flew out from the 5th level of the fire domain. He activated the restrictive power of the fire domain and formed an extremely powerful palm print that slammed into the sky. The palm print carried black flames and turned into an evil fire god. Its ferocious appearance was terrifying as it collided with the object that sealed the area. Rumble. There was an explosion high up in the sky. The terrifying sound of the explosion shook the eardrums of all the creatures in the fire domain. Some of them even fainted. This was the power of a true saint. It wasn't something that ordinary people could withstand. Outside the fire domain, Howren stretched out a hand and retrieved the thing he had sealed. A faint smile appeared on his old face as he said, "We were still discovered. What did that brat do to cause such a big commotion?" His little trick was extremely hidden, and ordinary saints would not be able to discover it. Unless someone deliberately sensed it, then it would be possible to discover it. "Who are you? How dare you trespass on the forbidden grounds of the Xing family?" The Xing family sage flew out like a bright sun. Yang Wu was terrified. He didn't waste any time and quickly rushed out of the fire domain. Even though his body had become a saint, it was still far from being comparable to a true saint. "Spy, don't even think about escaping." Xing Jiasin had been paying attention to Yang Wu's movements. When Yang Wu escaped, she threw out 3 imperial edicts. These were her last imperial edicts. The power of the 3 imperial edicts suppressed Yang Wu's position. This time, the imperial edicts didn't contain her essence blood. They only released holy power. There was no intent power, but it was enough to stop Yang Wu for a moment. "Get out of my way!" Yang Wu shouted. His fist was like a dragon. It was full of fist intent. It overpowered the power of the 3 imperial edicts. Yang Wu's body was full of energy. The power of his fist was not to be underestimated. It collided with the power of the imperial edicts. The power of the imperial edicts wasn't something that could be broken in one hit. Yang Wu had to keep on punching. Otherwise, he would be suppressed. Yang Wu didn't dare hold back. He punched again and again. The fire around him was controlled by his fist power. It created an extremely powerful force field. The firestones around him were crushed into powder. Pang! Yang Wu punched 49 times in a row. He finally broke the imperial edict's power. He used up a lot of energy. He used all of his strength in each punch. The fact that he was able to block them all proved that he was very strong. Yang Wu was ready to run again, but a blast of holy power came at him. Puff! Yang Wu didn't have a chance to defend himself. He was hit hard in the back. He was sent flying thousands of feet away. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The Xing clan saint grabbed at Yang Wu from afar. Even if Yang Wu was already dead, he wanted to tear him into pieces. Moreover, he could sense that Yang Wu was still alive. Just as his power was about to land on Yang Wu, a surge of power tore through the barrier of the fire field with enough force to topple a mountain. It landed on Yang Wu's body and quickly took him away from this place. The Xing saint shouted, "Don't you dare run!" In the next moment, he activated the saint power prohibition and blocked the power that was probing in. However, the power retreated as quickly as it came. He couldn't stop it in time. He could only watch as Yang Wu was taken away from the fire field. "Bastard!" the Xing saint shouted. He turned into a streak of fire and chased after Lu Yin. When a saint was angry, heaven and earth would tremble. This Xing saint was no ordinary saint. He had reached the 5-pattern astral realm. He was very strong. Outside the fire field, other Xing saints came. With such a huge commotion happening here, the Xing family was not too far away from here. Some saints sensed the changes here and quickly came to provide support. After Hao Run rescued Yang Wu, he saw that Yang Wu wasn't dead yet. He revealed a rare smile and said, "Not bad, not bad. No wonder there was such a big commotion." Then, he took Yang Wu and little Nan Nan and slowly left. His movements seemed very slow, but in reality, they were shockingly fast. The space was torn apart by his aura, and his figure disappeared into it. 1,000 miles in a single step. However, before he could fully enter, the attack of the Xing family's saint had already arrived. No matter who you are, you can't escape. You dare to offend the Xing family? Die. The saint's voice shook the heavens. The power of 3 sages furiously bombarded Hao Ren's position. The shocking power seemed to want to shatter that side of the world. Freeze! Hao Ren looked back and gently pointed his finger. An invisible force condensed and quickly locked the space. The 3 waves of saints' attacks bombarded the space, but the space was not damaged in the slightest. He had already left with Yang Wu and little Nan Nan. When the saints' power disappeared, the world returned to normal. Only the 3 saints were left standing in the air. They were shocked. They couldn't believe that the enemy had slipped away right under their noses. "Who is it that dares to go against our Xing family?" Xing Mingyang asked. This was Yang Taihe's old rival. His strength was much stronger than before. 8 star patterns appeared on his back, indicating his strength. "Someone snuck into our fire domain. I'll call someone to ask." The black-robed saint came out of the fire domain. He summoned Xing Jiasen to ask what had happened. This Xing family saint was called Xing Jionghui. He was an expert overseeing the fire domain. The other one was called Xing Sun. He was only slightly weaker than Xing Mingyang. Xing Jiasen arrived in front of the 3 saints, not revealing the slightest bit of stage fright. She looked at them and said, "It was the Yang family's Yang Wu. He took away my fire essence fire seeds, power from my fire essence vein." "Yang Wu, a descendant of the Yang family?" Xing Sun asked. "It's that damn brat. He dares to be so bold." Xing Mingyang roared. Yang Tai's escape was related to Yang Wu. Xing Mingyang had a deep impression of the Yang family's rising star. Could it be that the Yang family is trying to show off to us? Xing Jionghui frowned. That old woman Gong Silan doesn't have the guts. That guy was unfamiliar. He shouldn't be from the Yang family. Xing Mingyang said. He then said, "The Yang family is showing signs of resurgence. We must deal with this matter as soon as possible. Where are the spies in the Yang family? They're all useless. They only know how to make false information." Xing Sun said with dissatisfaction. "Don't talk about it. Half a month ago, the Lin family was completely wiped out by the Yang family. The Yang family was completely reorganized. Many people who were against the Yang family were eliminated. As long as Gong Silan and Yang Taihe are not eliminated, we won't be able to exterminate the Yang family." Xing Mingyang replied. After a pause, he said, "This is also my fault. I didn't completely kill Yang Taihe. I didn't expect his life to be so tough. A month ago, if the old ancestor didn't follow them, we would have been tricked by that old woman Gong Silan. We should have killed her. This old woman has pretended to be dead many times. She has clearly exhausted her lifespan, so how can she still improve? Could it be that the Yang family has some power secretly supporting them? We know the Yang family situation like the back of our hands. Maybe it's a trump card left behind by those who died in the Yang family. When the other 2 old ancestors return from their travels, I must suggest that they be eliminated as soon as possible. Otherwise, when they recover, it will be too disadvantageous for our Xing family. For now, we should first get rid of that brat Yang Wu. I feel that it's necessary to raise the bounty and ask the Saint Domain to hunt down that brat. If we eliminate him, we can once again attack the Yang family's arrogance and prevent them from doing anything in this year's Dragon Phoenix list. Chapter 852. The War Race Realm. In a desolate area near the edge of the Yang family was a continuous mountain range with lush trees. When the wind blew, the leaves rustled nonstop. On a quiet grassland, there was an old man, a young man, and a child. This kind of combination in this desolate place was like a paradise of mountain villagers. You've already found the mysterious essence Qi, so Master won't bother with you anymore. Remember, if you obtain the title of Dragon Emperor on the Dragon Phoenix list, there will be a pleasant surprise waiting for you. If you lose the title of Dragon Emperor, then you will only be Master's disciple." Haoren looked at Yang Wu and calmly said, Yang Wu was hit by a saint, but he didn't die. His physical body had reached the saint realm, so his endurance was extraordinary. If he hadn't become a saint yet, then a saint's attack would have been enough to blow him up. Even if he had an immortal body, he would still die. His injuries had mostly healed, so he calmly listened to his master's advice. He didn't understand what his master meant by only be Master's disciple. Could it be that if he obtained the title of Dragon Emperor, he wouldn't be Master's disciple? Yang Wu didn't ask why. He knew that his master's every word was reasonable, so he just needed to carry it out. "Master, I'll leave little Nan Nan to you in the future." Yang Wu looked at little Nan Nan, who was chasing butterflies not far away, and said with reluctance. Little Nan Nan was a very intelligent child. Seeing her mother die at the hands of the moon worship cult's believers was a big blow to her. Even though she looked fine, she would still wake up in the middle of the night. This was why she had to cling to him every night to sleep. He was also worried that if he separated from her, she wouldn't be able to sleep well. Even if his master was by her side and she wouldn't be harmed, her mental trauma wasn't something his master could comfort. Haoren looked at little Nan Nan with a kind expression and said, "She will definitely work harder than you in the future." He paused for a moment before saying, "If you lose face outside, don't say that you are Master's disciple. Master can't afford to lose face like this." "Master, didn't you tell me to announce the Heavenly Palace's name? Only after you obtain the title of Dragon Emperor can you announce that you are Heavenly Palace's disciple. You see my strength increase so quickly. Don't you have any trust in me?" "Humph. The world is vast, and there are countless geniuses. There are countless geniuses that have been hidden by the major powers. They have received extremely rich cultivation resources since they were young. Before reaching the Saint Realm, the number of geniuses whose bodies have reached the Saint Realm is definitely not less than the number of one's fingers. Even their souls have reached the Saint Realm. Don't think that just because your strength has increased a bit, you can look down on your peers. Let me tell you, if you don't advance in your cultivation, you will fall behind. Disciple has remembered it all. Nan Nan Saint 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 Nan Nan, Nan Nan Saint, Nan Nan Nin, Nanels, Nan Nan, Nan Nan, Nin Naps. He caught a butterfly for her, then she released it, and he flew away with the butterfly. She chased after butterfly, tears trickling down her cheeks. She kept waving her hands and asking, "Brother, don't you want Nan Nan anymore?" "Nan Nan, listen to Sherzuin. Wait until Big Brother is done with his business. Then I'll come and find you. Big Brother will miss you." The butterfly flew away in the end. The little girl cried on the ground for a long time before she stopped. She turned around and scolded the old man. "It must be you, bad old man, who chased my brother away. I hate you." The old man innocently wanted to cry. He would not have a good time in the coming days. After Yang Wu bid farewell to his master and little Nan Nan, he was in low spirits and slowly returned to the Yang family's territory. He was thinking that his great-grandmother might have already passed away and that his parents might have already been brought to the Yang family. Also, he wondered if Ziyu had already returned to the purple firmament hall. His mood became a little gloomy, and the sky was covered with dark clouds. Soon it began to rain. Drops of cold rain fell on his body, waking him up a lot. However, it was still difficult to tell the direction in front of him. It was as if he was the only person left in the world. As he walked from day to night, from night to day, from rain to rain, and from rain to sun. In this barren land, there wasn't a single beast or spirit demon that came to find trouble with him. It was a strange thing. The sun broke through the sky, and a 7-colored rainbow appeared on the horizon. His eyes gradually bloomed with light. He raised his head and looked at the fish scale-like clouds and said loudly, "Grandpa, Father, Mother, Lanshin Shoho, beautiful military advisor, Bing Shui, Lord of Rain. I miss you all." Yang Wu turned into a streak of light and flew back in the direction of the Yang family. Originally, he wanted to look for some herbs in this wilderness, but he really couldn't wait to go back and see his family. After Haoren brought him out of the Xing family's fire field training hall, he had already sent him to the edge of the Yang family's territory. He only needed 7 days to rush back to the Yang family's city. In a city on the edge of the Yang clan's territory, there was a third-rate force affiliated with the Yang clan called the Giant Wave Gang. The gang had 1 leader and 3 vice leaders, and they had quite a reputation in the Yang clan's territory. Their reputation was not because of their strength, but because of their loyalty and heroism. They had become sworn brothers, and had always moved forward and retreated together without any distinction between each other, which had won many praises. The leader of the Zhulang gang was Liang Rulong, and the 3 vice leaders were Wu Yu, Su Hu, and Tan Yingxin. Their strength had reached the peak of the dragon transformation realm, and Liang Rulong was a half-saint expert. They guarded a section of the Yangtze River and established the Zhulang gang. They were responsible for the transportation of goods on the river and fishing for treasures in the river as their main source of income. A month ago, the Yang family met with another great change. The Xing family sage came to the border, wanting to uproot the Yang family. At that time, all the affiliated factions thought that the Yang family would not be able to escape this calamity. Who would have thought that the Yang family's great-grandmother, who was rumored to have passed away, would suddenly appear and stop the Xing family's annihilation? In the past few years, the Yang family had been invaded by the Xing family 3 times in a row. The affiliated factions of the Yang family were all in danger, wondering if they should continue to work for Yang Wu. After the Lin gang was taken over by the Yang family, the other affiliated factions were all frightened. The Zhulang gang was at the edge of the Yang family's territory, and they had always been loyal to the Yang family. No matter how difficult the Yang family situation was, they never thought of leaving. On this day, someone came and threatened the Zhulang gang, saying that they had to be dragged away from the Yang family. Otherwise, the Zhulang gang would be destroyed. The Red River gang and the Zhulang gang were opposite each other across the river. The 2 gangs had always minded their own business, occupying different territories and governing the waters under their jurisdiction. Today, the Red River gang had brought a few unfamiliar faces into the waters under the Zhulang gang's jurisdiction, killing many of their members. The 4 gang leaders of the Zhulang gang appeared together with 3,000 gang members, looking as if they were about to start a war with the Red River gang. Li Honghe, what is the meaning of this? How dare you kill my brothers? The deputy leader of the Zhulang gang, Wu Yu, held a pitchfork in his hand and pointed at the leader on the ship opposite the bank. Li Honghe, the leader of the Red River gang, had the strength of a half-step saint. Rumor had it that he was the illegitimate son of the Li family's main branch elder. However, because he couldn't show his face in public, he was arranged to live in this area. He was very hard-working and relied on his own strength to carve out a small world for himself. The Red River gang and the Zhulang gang were similar in strength, and the Li family and the Yang family were neighbors. The 2 families had a good relationship, and the Red River gang and the Zhulang gang gave each other face. Who would have thought that the Li family's attitude towards the Yang family had changed recently? Li Honghe was a scholarly man. He wore a dark blue robe and sat on a jade shark chair. He revealed a faint smile and said, "Who do you think you are? Call Liang Rulong over." Li Honghe, if you don't give me an explanation today, then we'll fight to the death. A strong man from the Zhulang gang came out and coldly said. This man was bare-chested, revealing his bulging muscles. Several iron chains hung around his neck, making him look like a dragon in prison, powerful and domineering. He was the chief of the Zhulang gang, Liang Rulong. "He, do you have the qualifications to fight to the death?" Li Honghe sneered. He paused for a moment and said, "Liang Rulong, I'll give you a chance. From now on, your Zhulang gang will join our Red River gang. I'll leave the position of deputy leader for you, and I'll let your 3 brothers become protector elders. Their status won't be lower than the deputy leader. You only have 1 chance, so seize it. F***ck your mother. Who do you think you are? How dare you threaten us?" Su angrily cursed. He rushed out from the bow of the ship like a tiger and threw a punch at Li Honghe. A fierce tiger was released from its cage. This punch was like a ferocious tiger that had been trapped for many days and suddenly came out. The ferocity of that punch was extremely terrifying. Before the ferocious tiger's fist could land on Li Honghe, a palm print flipped over in the air and came crashing down. "Be careful!" Liang Rulong cried out in alarm and rushed out like a dragon, wanting to save his brother. However, there was another force blocking his way. Asterisk pung pung asterisk pung asterisk pung asterisk. A series of explosions sounded in midair. Suhu was slapped into the river, and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Liang Rulong, who was a half-step saint, was sent flying back to his ship by another person's punch, causing the ship to shake. Two figures with dense, sage-level auras quietly appeared in this world. "Who are you guys?" Liang Rulong stared at the two figures and exclaimed. Zhulang Gang and Red River Gang had always been on par with each other. Now that there were two more half-step saints, it was no wonder that Red River Gang became so confident. "Haha, Liang Rulong, I'll give you one more chance. From now on, your Zhulang Gang will join our Red River Gang and become one of the forces of Li family. Yang family has declined, and Xing family will certainly annihilate them. If you don't choose a good tree to perch on, when will you?" Li Honghe laughed loudly and waved his hand. Dozens of peak minor saints appeared behind him. The people of Zhulang Gang felt a chill in their hearts. How are they going to fight? Suddenly, an untimely voice sounded. Is Yang family really declining? Chapter 853. The two third-rate factions were ready to fight at any time, but the sudden appearance of a handsome youth disrupted the tense atmosphere. Everyone looked at the youth who suddenly appeared. He was very handsome, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes. He was tall and straight, and his aura was like that of a dragon. He had a faint smile on his face, as if he was the son of an immortal, free and easy. Where did this brat come from? Quickly deal with him. Li Honghe looked at Yang Wu and couldn't help but say. Then his gaze fell on Liang Rulong and said, "A wise man submits to circumstances. My Li family is powerful, and although it is not as powerful as the Xing family doesn't dare to offend us. However, the Yang family is different. As long as that old woman dies, the Yang family will completely collapse. Even Yang Taihe won't be able to stop the Xing family unless he has the ability to break through to the Jade Moon Realm. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the time." Liang Rulong clenched his fists and shouted, "Our giant wave gang has always been taken care of by the Yang family. For so many years, we have shared honor and disgrace. How can we betray them? If you want to fight, then let's fight." Wu Yu also replied, "The Li family and the Yang family can be considered allies. I didn't expect them to be such two-faced people." In another direction, a member of the Red River Gang tried to grab Yang Wu. This youth who didn't look like a nuisance actually disappeared. "Stubborn. Let's talk after we fight." Li Honghe was too lazy to waste his breath and waved his hand at the people beside him. "Can we talk things out? Do we have to fight and kill to solve it?" The young man's voice rang out again. This time, he appeared between the two groups of people. He stood on the ripples as if they were flat ground. The person who wanted to grab the youth just now widened his eyes. He had already realized that this youth was not ordinary. He still wanted to capture the youth. Otherwise, his gang leader would beat him to death. "Get the hell over here." The person from the Red River Gang roared and flew towards the youth. His hands reached out to grab Yang Wu. Don't underestimate this simple grab. In fact, he was a heavenly fish realm martial artist. Ordinary youths would be easily caught and crushed to death by him. Splash. The man from the Red River Gang didn't manage to catch the youth. He tripped over something and lost his balance, falling into the Yangtze River. You're already so old, yet you're still playing this kind of diving game. Aren't you bored? The young man said lazily. Who are you? Li Honghe stared at Yang Wu and asked. I'm just a passerby. The young man looked at Li Honghe and replied. People who meddle in other people's business usually die early. Li Honghe threatened the youth. Liang Rulong hurriedly said, Little brother, this has nothing to do with you. Hurry up and leave. It's all right. I'm just trying to reason with you guys. The young man waved his hand in response to Liang Rulong. Then he looked at Li Honghe and the people around him and said, The Li family thinks that the Yang family will be destroyed by the Xing family and wants to take over the Yang family's territory. Anyone can bully others with their power, But doing so between allies is going against the spirit of the contract between allies. This doesn't seem very ethical. What is morality? Li Honghe was slightly stunned. Then he asked the people around him, "Do you know what morality is?" Reporting to gang leader, "We don't know what morality is." Haha, gang leader, I know what morality is. Our fist is our morality. If anyone dares to talk to me about morality, I'll talk to them with my fist. The sword I use to cut off people's heads is also called the sword of morality. Let me talk to this young man about morality. The Yang family is about to be destroyed. Our Red River gang is morality. The Li family is morality. The people around Li Honghe sneered. In their eyes, this young man was just a drop of water in the river. Even if his strength was extraordinary, how strong could he be? Could it be that he was comparable to a half-step sage? This was clearly impossible. Kid, did you hear that? You want to talk about morals with thousands of us? Are you out of your mind? Hurry up and kneel down and admit your mistake. Otherwise, we'll use you as a sacrifice. Li Honghe shouted with a sinister smile. Liang Rulong waved his iron chain and threw it in the direction of the young man. He wanted to take this young man away so that he wouldn't die in vain. Unfortunately, before his iron chain could fall on the young man, a sword flew past and directly cut his iron chain. A half-step sage said faintly, "Don't be in a hurry to make a move. Let's fight to our heart's content later." Since you think that the fist is morality, you're not wrong. Because I think so too, the young man said with a smile like a spring breeze. Then he walked step by step towards Li Honghe's direction. At such a young age, you're pretending to be a ghost. Die for me. A fierce general of the Red River gang roared and waved a golden fist towards the young man. This fist was astonishingly domineering. In the blink of an eye, it was in front of the young man. This was the power of an advanced heavenly fish realm expert. It had the strength of thousands of cauldrons. The young man in front of him looked like he was only 17 or 18 years old. If he took this punch, he would definitely explode and die. However, things did not turn out as he had imagined. His golden fist was easily caught by the young man. The young man gently twisted it, and a crack was heard. Following that, he shrieked like a pig being slaughtered. "Your fist doesn't seem to be hard enough," the young man said calmly and broke the man's fist. The man was in so much pain that he almost fainted. The other members of the Red River gang moved. 3 of them carried battle weapons and attacked Yang Wu from both sides. The sword was sharp and the blade was astonishing. These were all top heavenly fish realm experts. They were determined to kill the young man. The young man used the man as a shield and threw him at them. The man's body collided with their attacks and was killed on the spot. The 3 people who attacked were ruthless enough. They didn't stop. After dismembering the man, they continued to attack the young man. Unfortunately, the young man had taken advantage of this moment to appear on their gang leader's ship. "Uncle, how about I talk about morality with you?" the young man said lightly. Li Honghe stared at the young man in front of him. He couldn't figure out where the other party got the courage to talk to him like this. Die. Finally, a strong fighter of the dragon transformation realm attacked. With a strong killing intent, he slapped at Yang Wu's head. "You also want to hear me talk about morality, right?" the young man responded. He attacked first, and his fist penetrated the abdomen of the dragon transformation realm expert. His body crashed into the others. The others wanted to catch his body, but they were sent flying and vomited blood. A dragon transformation realm expert was killed in one move. Such power was terrifying. Moreover, he didn't seem to have used his celestial chi. The members of the Red River gang and Zhulang gang stared at the strange young man in front of them with wide eyes. They realized that not only did he have extraordinary looks, but his combat ability was also extraordinary. "Kill him with a flurry of blades," Li Hong ordered. He definitely didn't believe that a young man could be so powerful. Even if he could kill a dragon transformation realm expert, could he kill a half-saint? Several dragon transformation realm experts released powerful energy at the same time, enveloping the young man. All kinds of energy began to envelop the young man. There was fist energy, palm energy, leg energy. They completely sealed off the young man's escape route. They definitely wouldn't give him any chance to escape. At the same time, They wanted to force out the young man's ability to ignore them. These people's attacks were very domineering. Even a high-level dragon transformation realm expert wouldn't dare to take them head-on. Could this young man block them? Boom! The power of these people's attacks exploded, and the power was quite shocking. When the power disappeared, the young man was already gone. Just when they thought that the young man had been blasted into dust, a half-saint cried out, "Behind you!" One of them didn't react in time, and his head was lightly smashed by the young man. This was a mid-level dragon transformation realm expert, and he died so easily. The young man disappeared again. Bang! Bang! In the blink of an eye, the few experts who attacked the young man were all killed with a single slap. Such killing methods were extremely shocking. "There's something strange about this kid. We have to take him down quickly," said the half-saint coldly. He didn't make a move. He felt that the young man wasn't worthy of a half-saint like him to make a move. His only target was Liang Rulong. "A bunch of trash. Li Dagong, you go and capture him alive. I want to know his background." Li Honghe had been staring at Yang Wu. Every move of Yang Wu couldn't escape his eyes. He felt that this young man was like a deep pool of water, and he couldn't figure out his depth. Li Dagong was a peak minor saint, and also one of the protectors of the River Red Gang. He stared at Yang Wu. Using his arm as a blade, he swung it at Yang Wu. A blade energy broke through the air, and the power contained in it was many times stronger than the joint attack of the half-saints. This blade had an additional blade will. The air to the left and right of the blade split apart. The blade light instantly arrived above the young man's head. Everyone stared at the scene, wanting to see if the young man had the ability to block this blade. The young man stopped in his tracks and quietly raised his hand, grabbing the blade light. This blade light had the power to split the river. How dare the young man do that? When the young man easily grabbed the blade light, everyone's eyes almost popped out. How is this possible? The same thought flashed through everyone's mind. Li Dagong exclaimed in shock, unable to accept the fact that his blade was caught. Bang! The young man easily broke the blade light's power and said indifferently, "Your strength is a little weak. If you use your combat blade, perhaps it's just SOSO." Li Dagong was very obedient. He took out his combat blade and slashed at the young man with all his strength. The 1,000 Zhonglong blade light displayed an even more terrifying attack power. No one of the half-saint realm would dare to block it easily. This time, the blade light landed firmly on the young man's palm and didn't cause any ripples. "Who are you?" "Yang Wu." Yang as in the wind, Wu as in the second strongest martial artist. Chapter 854. There was no first place in literature and no second place in martial arts. This wasn't a joke. There was always someone better than you. The Red River Gang finally saw what it meant to be an invincible young expert. They thought that this young man in front of them could be easily killed by them, but who knew that this young man was ridiculously powerful, and so many people had died at his hands. Li Honghe jumped up from his seat and shouted, "You are Yang Wu from the Yang family?" "It's Yang family head Yang Wu." Liang Rulong of the Giant Wave Gang also exclaimed. In the transcendent world, not many people knew of Yang Wu's name. However, in the battle race world, his name had already spread to all the large family clans. Young Yang Wu had reached the 12th level of the God of War Pagoda and killed many half-sages and small saint from the Xing family. He had successfully saved the white-haired demoness and attracted a holy war. He was one of the strongest prodigies in the Yang family in 10,000 years, and also the Yang family head. Most of the people present had heard of Yang Wu's achievements, but this was the first time they had seen Yang Wu with their own eyes. He was too young. Am I Yang Wu, so famous? Why does it seem like everyone knows me? Yang Wu rubbed his nose and smiled. Young family head, come back quickly. Leave this matter to us. Liang Rulong shouted and rushed toward Yang Wu like a dragon. He definitely did not want anything to happen to Yang Wu. Get back. Another half-sage from the Red River Gang blocked Liang Rulong. Liang Rulong exchanged a blow with the other party and still wanted to force his way through. Yang Wu did not even turn his head and shouted, "Go back. This matter has nothing to do with you. I will use my moral fist to reason with them." Li Honghe licked his lips and said, Yang Wu of the Yang family is already on the wanted list at such a young age. The Xing family is offering 2 sacred pills as a reward. I'm also tempted. Gang leader, I'll get this reward for you. Li Dagong shouted and once again attacked Yang Wu. Powerful blade lights shrouded Yang Wu, sealing off Yang Wu's escape route. The power of each blade was enough to split the sky and split the earth. This was Li Dagong's strongest attack. He no longer held back. Everyone charge. Slaughter these Red River Gang scum. Liang Rulong couldn't care less. With a wave of his hand, he ordered his 3,000 gang members to attack. Kill. The Julang gang was united and unafraid of death. They roared and brandished their weapons to attack the Red River Gang. F*CK them. Li Honghe slammed the table and stood up, giving the order to the people behind him. The fierce battle began, stirring up layers of waves in the Yangtze River. The Red River Gang had 2 more half-step saints and dozens of minor saints. They were much stronger than the Julang Gang. The Julang Gang would be at a disadvantage if they fought recklessly. However, they couldn't care less. The young master of the Yang family was right in front of them. He was their young master. They wouldn't allow anything to happen to him. Yang Wu received Li Dagong's attack head-on. Not only was he not injured, but he also reflected the power of the blade lights back at Li Dagong, giving Li Dagong a fright. These impulsive bastards. After Yang Wu sensed that the 2 gangs had started fighting, he couldn't help but sigh. His figure appeared in front of Li Dagong like a ghost. He pressed a palm on Li Dagong's chest, who hadn't reacted yet. His palm power surged and instantly shattered Li Dagong's chest. His body was like a cannonball as he slammed in the direction of Li Honghe. How dare you? Li Honghe shouted. He caught Li Dagong's body with one hand and threw him to the side. He could feel that Li Dagong's vitality was fading away. There was no way to save him. Yang Wu appeared at Li Honghe's side and reached out his hand to grab Li Honghe. Yang Wu's attack was as fast as lightning. Even Li Honghe almost couldn't catch it. Li Honghe dodged to the side. His cheeks were scraped by Yang Wu. He felt a chill in his heart. Only now did he realize that the young man in front of him had the strength to threaten him. No wonder he was so arrogant. Yang Wu didn't give Li Honghe a chance to attack. He continued to grab Li Honghe. As long as he could capture Li Honghe, this battle could be avoided. Li Honghe continued to roll and release the strength of a half-step saint, clashing head-on with Yang Wu. Asterisk bang. Asterisk Yang Wu's body was at the sage realm. His strength was tyrannical. Li Honghe's hand was shaken by Yang Wu's strength. Li Honghe's finger bones were broken. His body was forced to retreat. The giant ship was smashed into pieces. Come and help me. Li Honghe couldn't help but ask for help. He couldn't believe that a young man could have such terrifying fighting strength. It was simply cheating. No one can save you, Yang Wu said fiercely. He continued to speed up his attack. His hand continued to grab Li Honghe's neck. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Li Honghe shouted. His body condensed into a battle pagoda. He put his palms together and counterattacked Yang Wu. Heaven suppressing pagoda. This was the battle chi divine ability of the Li family. Li Honghe wasn't a direct descendant of the Li family. However, he had the Li family's bloodline. He also cultivated the first few layers of the Li family's heaven-suppressing divine art. He could condense the battle chi of a divine pagoda. The azure divine pagoda forcibly blocked the power of Yang Wu's palm. Yang Wu narrowed his eyes and shouted, "Break for me!" His palm seemed to have the power to pick the stars and the moon. The thick battle pagoda was crushed by the power of his palm. When Yang Wu was about to grab Li Honghe, someone suddenly attacked him from behind. A spear with a spiral force was aimed at the back of his head. This was the attack power of a half-saint. Yang Wu's body sank down as if he had eyes on the back of his head. He dodged this fatal attack. At the same time, he used the wind god's leg to kick the attacker at an unexpected angle. A storm rolled out like a dragon's roar, wreaking havoc in the world. Yang Wu didn't cultivate wind chi. However, with his talent, he could exert the power of a wind-like attack. Especially after his body became a saint, he felt that every part of his body was full of overbearing power. Any one of his attacks was enough to fight a half-saint and kill a small saint. The half-saint who launched the sneak attack was forced to retreat quickly by Yang Wu's attack. He and Li Honghe formed a pincer attack on Yang Wu at the same time. They both urged their most powerful attacks to kill Yang Wu. In comparison, killing the young patriarch of the Yang family was more valuable than killing Liang Rulong. Anyway, the alliance between the Li family and the Yang family had come to an end. The heavenly pagoda seals the river, looking at the moon with a lamp. Li Honghe was like an incarnation of a divine pagoda. His whole body was bursting with the power of a half-saint. The strong power formed a majestic suppressive aura. The river water splashed up thousands of Zhanghai waves. The other half-saint spear technique was very good. It flickered between dark and bright, like a lantern looking at the moon. It was difficult for people to catch it. The spear momentum could easily hit the enemy's vital points. The two half-saints attacked at the same time. The commotion caused by the two half-saints was so powerful that the people on the left and right sides hurriedly retreated as far as possible. They didn't have time to fight with the others. They just watched the two half-saints besiege Yang Wu from afar. Liang Rulong wanted to rush over, but he was entangled by a half-saint. It was difficult for him to rescue Liang Rulong. He looked up to the sky and roared, "If anything happens to the young patriarch, your Li family will definitely pay the price." Barbaric Tyrant Fist. Yang Wu displayed a spirit that could swallow mountains and rivers. He attacked with the Zhenwu boxing principle. The terrifying Zhenwu boxing principle transformed into a barbarian beast that rushed out. It was as if it wanted to crush everything in its path. It was also as if the sun and the moon were reversing and the black tortoise was devouring the world. Boom! Boom! The fighting strength of the half-saints collided continuously. The commotion caused was really too shocking. Two figures were sent flying by the powerful shockwave. When the crowd saw the two figures clearly, they were all shocked. It was actually Li Honghe and another half-saint who had been sent flying by Yang Wu. Blood overflowed from the corners of their mouths. Obviously, they had been injured by Yang Wu's power in the competition just now. Before they came to their senses, a hidden attack suddenly slashed at the back of the other half-saint. There was no attack that the half-saint couldn't sense within a few miles. However, the hidden attack came too fast. It was as if the other half-saint had launched a sneak attack. He only felt an extremely cold force rise and slashed at his head. His defensive strength was cut open. His hair stood on end. He instinctively dodged. A few strands of his hair were cut off and quickly frozen. Just as he was lucky enough to escape this calamity, Yang Wu had already quietly appeared beside him, and an earth-shattering fist force fiercely blasted towards his lower abdomen. Bang! He didn't wear any defensive armor. He only had the defensive strength of a half-saint. He couldn't withstand Yang Wu's punch and was smashed to pieces. His lower abdomen was also smashed. His intestines were exposed. Spots of blood gushed out like a fountain. Yang Wu grabbed the half-saint's hair as fast as lightning. He pulled it down and fiercely raised his knee. The half-saint's face was smashed by the knee. The half-saint fell. Yang Wu's attack was too violent. He had killed a semi-sage expert in just a few moves. Li Honghe was about to go to the rescue. However, he was scared out of his wits. The people of the Red River Gang were also scared out of their wits. This youngster's combat strength was too formidable. After Yang Wu killed the half-saint, he looked at Li Honghe. Li Honghe subconsciously took a few steps back when he met Yang Wu's gaze. In the next moment, Yang Wu turned into a meteor and rushed toward Li Honghe. Li Honghe didn't escape. He revealed a ferocious expression and shouted, "Do you really think you can defeat me?" Sky-suppressing pagoda, appear. A small broken pagoda appeared in Li Honghe's palm. This was a broken sacred pagoda. It was a replica of the sky-suppressing pagoda of the Li family. If it wasn't broken, it would be an amazing sacred weapon. Now that it was broken, it still had great power and could kill a half-saint. Li Honghe poured his power into the broken sky-suppressing pagoda. The sparkling and translucent pagoda flew out and rapidly expanded. Boundless rays of light bloomed and enveloped Yang Wu. Yang Wu quickly dodged. The sky-suppressing pagoda followed him like a shadow. It first became the size of a room, then quickly became the size of a mountain. After locking onto Yang Wu, it ruthlessly suppressed Yang Wu. Yang Wu couldn't dodge in time and was suppressed under the pagoda. Bang!